Waiting to go live. All right, here we go, boys. All right, boyos. I believe we are now live. The Montreal Canadiens came in tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, their first home game in, I believe, just over a month. Their first home game of 2022, actually. And we unfortunately ended up losing. It was a final score of 5-4. It was much more close than A, I expected, and B, it kind of had any right. It kind of had any right to be. And if you saw the game, you'd know, you'd know. But yeah. So of course I'm going to get into I'm gonna get into the comments, and then we're going to get into my notes for the game. So Drac coming in with a bunch of comments. Dude, Primo needs to get out of town. Savard is horrible. Ducharme likes picking his nose. I agree on all of this so far. This team makes me want to punch every TV. Me too, Drac. Adam Sandler's my hero. I agree with all of that. For that, I now go watch Hotel Transylvania. Well, I mean, given the fact that Adam Sandler's not voicing Dracula in the new one, I don't know if you're gonna like it. Evan tried to make Bob proud today. Question Bob, is Evans worth it now? Yeah, King Julian, he did. He apparently was in stream last time and saw, hey, this guy thinks I'm not worth it. I'm going to go out and score 2 fucking goals tonight. And he did. And he did really good tonight. Pitlick is really good too. Yeah, King Julian, I really like Pitlick as well. He's been really good. I believe they said he now has 7 points in 8 games with the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm really proud of what Pitlick has done. I'm hoping he doesn't want more than like 2 million a year. Maybe he will, because he's proven in 2 teams this year that he's really good and kind of consistent. So we'll see. Faggio, wow, indeed, my guy. What do you think could be a trade for JT Miller looking like? According to rumors, the asking price is astronomical so far. Well, Soviet Union, given he just scored a freaking hat trick tonight against the Jets, we might have more. Who knows? Game's not over yet. I don't know if the asking price is astronomical. I don't think it's going to be a Jack Eichel deal where eventually gets withered down so much and then a team pays beyond what they should have for him. Vegas. But I don't know. For JT Miller, I feel like maybe 2 firsts and a prospect. JT Miller is one of those guys that I really, really like. I think he's really underrated. He's a great 2-way guy. He comes up really, really clutch, like he kind of has tonight with a friggin' hat trick. He can go out and get a hat trick some nights and look like he's gonna be the next best player in the NHL. But I really like JT Miller. I think he's really underrated. And Vancouver, I think, is in the right for asking a lot for him. I think if they can get back more than Jack Eichel got, then that's a good trade. Because I don't think Jack Eichel's that good. I think Miller's way better than Eichel. So, yeah, you know, eggs. Eggs. Thank you, TFS. After looking a minute into Hotel Transylvania, I'm defeated. It is garbage. No Adam Sandler. Habs are bad. I'm done. Jack, thank you for coming by, my guy. Hell yeah. Another one good game. Yeah, Faggio. We've been much better since Kent Hughes has come in. And tonight we played really good, in my opinion. Another victim to Trevor Zegras. Yes, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is apparently now on the stream. Jack Olson, unfortunately, my guy. Also, I'm not sure if you saw, but league's back up. You might want to sign a couple guys. L again? Yes, Marcus, indeed. Hey, Harry, sorry about the bad comeback bid. Was impressed how close they got. Clifford, me too, my guy. Like, I was really impressed with the game, and I said to myself that, it was pathetic. But looking back, it was really, really impressive that on one of the best teams in the West and one of the best teams in the NHL, arguably, that we almost came back down 5-2 and almost tied the game up entirely. I was really happy. I was really, really happy about what we did tonight. Even if we didn't win, I think it's a partial win because the Canadians looked really good. And hopefully if we can start winning a couple games, maybe end the year with 15, 17 wins, that'd be nice. Trade for Zadina if we can. If necessary, do a 3-way deal to get him. Carmel, I don't think there's any way that we're going to get Philip Zadina from the Red Wings. I think he's part of their plans for sure. JT Miller's a hat trick tonight, so yeah, it's pretty high. I hope we get a bunch of draft picks if they do trade him. Yeah, Clifford, I understand definitely being sad. Hell, I would be too if he was a Montreal Canadian and playing as good as he's played in Vancouver. I'd be sad too if we were getting rid of him. But yeah, if you guys get a bunch of draft picks, I think it'd be really, really awesome. I'd really, really like if you guys could fetch like 2 firsts, a second, a couple depth picks maybe. Like, I think you guys could do really, really well with trading Miller as long as you guys acquire futures, because I think Vancouver does need a very, very short retool. Just get those last pieces while you're getting out of the last era that you guys are going through. Sounds like a possible deal would be Miller 50% retained to the Rangers. Everyone's going to the Rangers apparently for Braden Schneider, Philip Hedl, and a 2023 first. Holy shit, Soviet, that's crazy. Rem is a legend. Keep that man. Like his name is Rem Rapid Eye Movement. Oh, Rapid Eye Movement Pitlick. Ooh, you should keep him just because of his name, Jack. That is true. We should, my guy. Honestly, I do want to keep him. Or that's what a trade could possibly look like. Soviet, I think that'd be a pretty fair deal. I think Braden Schneider. Braden Schneider strikes me as a really good, probable top 4 defenseman. Philip Hedl's a good third liner and a 2023 first. I don't know if the Rangers' success is maintainable into next year, so you guys could. So the fucking Rangers could end up getting maybe a top 5, maybe a top 10 pick out of that. Well, I must say, considering where we are in the standings, this was the perfect game to watch. We lost again, but that means we're closer to 0, right? And it was also entertaining. Gabriel, yeah, exactly, yeah. Where we are in the standings, this was a really damn good game. Like I really liked how we played, especially in the opening 5-10 minutes. Until the first goal was scored, and especially in the third period. We played really, really well in the third, I thought. And, yeah. Why didn't Ducharme give McNevin a second chance? I literally can't stand this coach. King Julian, because he doesn't like guys that don't have French names in that. Primo, Montembeau, Allon, you can technically make, and Price, you can technically Frenchify. But yeah, he didn't give McNevin a chance because he doesn't like non-French speaking goalies, I guess. I think the Habs actually try to win, but then they purposely lose. I don't think they just tank and purposely suck. They actually try to make it interesting. So that lots of fans get entertained. Hey, Fazio, if that's the case, I'd hope so. I mean, no players ever really do try to tank. It's usually the coaches and the GMs that want the tank, and the fans obviously like we do in Montreal right now. But the players obviously want to win. They don't feel good after a loss. But hey, if somehow subconsciously that was the case where it was like, hey, we're not going to win, let's just make it close. If it was subconsciously that, I'm still fine with that because we fucking made this game really close. We've made the last couple kind of close. So, yeah. David, how's it going, my guy? Thank you for coming by. So, surprisingly, only about 7 minutes of comments before we get into the lines. The opening lines for the Canadiens, never mind, I'm getting on, apparently. Whew. Opening lines for the Canadiens were Lehkonen, Suzuki, Toffoli, Dvorak, Paling, Hoffman, Pitlick, Evans, Anderson, and Pazetta, Vedamo, Paquette, with Kulak, Petrie, Sherratt, Savard, and Romanov, Weidman on the defense pairings. Caden Primo gets the starting job in net. Spoiler, he wouldn't hold on to it. Samuel Montembeau kind of returns from injury as he would back up Primo. Spoiler, he would get into the lineup and probably injured himself further. The opening lines for the Ducks were Raquel, Getzlaff, Terry, Comtois, Zegras, Silverberg, Steele, Lundestrom, Letary, and then someone else who I didn't recognize because the lines that I had didn't have someone on the fourth line left wing, so if someone could tell me who that was, that'd be great. But Carrick and Robertson, Sam Steele actually was moved down to the fourth line, so it's technically someone on the third line. I didn't know who it was, but Henrique ended up playing. Henrique was the second line center. I believe they moved Zegras to second line left wing. Comtois went down and Steele went down. So it was Adam Henrique. He returned from injury after missing 20 games with an injury. I just reminded myself. Fowler, Manson, Lindholm, Drysdale, and Benoit, not Chris, unfortunately, and Shattenkirk were the defense pairings. Anthony Stolarz gets the go-ahead net for the Ducks, and John Gibson backs him up because he played last night in Toronto and played incredible in a shootout loss, so he gets a resting night. I'm assuming you said, yes, I did see that Zegras goal, and holy fuck. Zegras is going to be a top 10 player in the NHL. Arguably top 5. I love Trevor Zegras. He's going to be one of the best players in the NHL in a few years. He's amazing. I love Zegras. Pricey has no choice to play, even if his name sounds and his English the only guy that saves his job. Exactly, King Julian. Like, he's the only guy that the Canadiens need in net this year. And fucking his ankles decide, or his knees decided, hey, you know what, Price? Fuck you. You're not going to play next year. We're going to break or whatever happened to his ankles. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah. Savard over Zegras. I don't know what you guys saw. Yes, Karma. Yes, Savard much better than Zegras. My apologies. Yes, Carmel is indeed very correct. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. We're actually gonna start a poll. Yeah, we're gonna start a poll real quick, guys. Which one do you think is the Zegras goal of the year? Is it the Michigan goal against Montreal or the Michigan assist versus Buffalo? What do you guys think it is? There's probably more that I can't remember, but these were the two that were getting massive talk tonight. It was this one, obviously, and then it was the assist against Buffalo. Which one do you guys think was better? The Michigan goal or the Michigan? I should have said Michigan goal, but it was a Michigan goal against Montreal or the Michigan assist versus Buffalo. It'll be interesting to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Why not just wait till next year to play Price? There's literally no point in getting him back as you can't fix. Well, Faggio, here's the thing: is we want to just get Price some games. We want to get him feeling more confident for next year, even though next year probably is going to be a rebuilding year, and probably not. Hey, last year was just down year. Let's get right back into playoff contention. It's not going to be that most likely. But Price, we do want to get him at least 1 or 2 games, probably 2 to 3, maybe at the most. I think just for him to be like, all right, I'm Carey Price. I can go in net, if he allows 8 goals in 3 games or 20 goals in 3 games, honestly, I'm fine with it because he's coming back for his first time in like a year. But with Price, they're just trying to get him more confidently, and they're trying to get him more confidently. What the fuck? They're trying to get him to be more confident. They're trying to get his game back. So that's what they're going to do by playing him, is not make him entirely rusty for next year. So, yeah. Fine. So you can't say obviously we'll go for Bedard. I'd assume we're probably going to go for Mishkov, honestly. We want Price to play some so we can possibly trade him in the summer too. Carmel, I don't think we're trading him this offseason unless a team like the Oilers is extremely, extremely desperate. Extremely desperate. I do think that Price only gets dealt next offseason if he, of course, waives and wants to go to a cup contender rather than, wait out a rebuild with Montreal, which honestly, I can't blame him. If Price wants to win a cup, dude's 34, 35, something around there. If he wants to win a cup, now's kind of his best time. Maybe not in Edmonton, but whatever, If Price wants a cup, now is the time for him to trade, We've seen the Michigan goal before, plus the assist also needs both players to make nice moves. Sushi Boy, interesting. I actually do think the Michigan assist was a bit better from Zegras. Or I don't know why I keep calling him Zegras. It's fucking call him Zegras. It's fucking Zegras. But yeah, I do agree with you guys. The Buffalo assist I think is much more impressive. Like Sushi Boy said, you need both players to be making nice moves. Zegras has to get the Michigan assist, and Sonny Milano needs to be able to get the hand-eye coordination and bat the puck into the net. Plus you need the goalie to just not be able to make the save. Problem with Mishkov is he's not playing for you for 3 years. Well, Faggio, here's the thing. I think I just watched my first disturbing adult film. That's not what I have to say to Faggio. That's the fucking God damn it! Someone's gonna clip that. Son of a bitch. It's a Mr. Gigi video that just came up. If you guys haven't watched Mr. Gigi yet, go check him out. He's a really, really funny YouTuber. Really, really awesome. I love Mr. Gigi. I love Mr. Gigi. That's not what I had to say to Faggio. Don't clip me, please. Actually, no, you can clip me. Just don't, But I got that. Goddamn, I'm sure you did, Jack. But yeah, Faggio, what I want to say to you is, it doesn't matter to me if Mishkov isn't playing for 3 years. If he potentially is the next fucking Ovechkin and the next big 60 goal scorer, which I think he could be, you pick him, Like, obviously, if you get first, you go for Connor Bedard. Like, obviously, he's going to be a franchise-level talent. I'm sorry, Faggio. Hey, what do you think about Mishkov? Well, I just watched my first disturbing adult film. No, like I said, boys, it's a Mr. Gigi video that just popped up because he just uploaded it. I got the notification for it. No, but like Mishkov, like obviously, like I said, if you get first overall, obviously you're going to go Bedard. But if you get like second, Montreal's biggest struggles, in my opinion, is goal scoring. We have the defense for the future. We just need the goal scoring and the consistency with the chemistry to click. So if we can get Mishkov and have Caulfield as well and work like a 1-2 of Mishkov and Caulfield on separate lines, maybe even on both, maybe even on the same line, we'd probably split them both up. But if we can have the next Ovechkin or even the next fucking Panarin in Mishkov, I'd be extremely happy about that. I'd be extremely happy. So for me, I don't think it matters if he doesn't play for 3 years after you draft him. It's just a matter of if he signs. Because I do feel like Mishkov could drop to like maybe number 6, number 7 in the draft. because that is the big thing about Russian players and why Russian players either go in much later, like Panarin, he wasn't drafted, or Kaprizov went in the 5th round. It's the reason that these players go much later than they're expected is because it's the worry of them even coming over, and also the worry of if they do want to come over, but they're getting paid more from Russia, you know? Um, so yeah, in my opinion, I do think that I would want to take the risk with Mishkov, but I'm just not 100% sure if he would come over, you know? I want to take the risk with him, though. Who do you think leaves their team at the trade deadline? Gabriel, Price, if he was playing the whole year, I do think Price probably would be traded. Well, I don't know, because we might be in a playoff spot because of Price, you know? But if he comes back, say, right now and plays really, really well, you know, if he does play good, if he were to come back right now and play, I do think Price is gone. But I do think Duran, unfortunately, is gone if he's healthy, because apparently he's out indefinitely with an upper body injury. So Duran might not be traded. I got to go down to the stats. Lehkonen's probably gone. Sherrod's gone, obviously. I think those guys are for sure gone. Galley might be gone if he doesn't want to stay for a rebuild. Savard, if a team wants him, I think we trade him. Sherrod's obviously gone. Dauphin, I don't know if a team makes a case for him. I think we try to move Petrie, but I don't think we will. Armia maybe could be gone. Maybe Armia, because I know there might be a buyer on him or buyer or two. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I don't know who entirely everyone who leaves. Byron might actually be a guy that's gone. I saw Caramel mention Byron's name and something else. But I could maybe see a team taking a waiver on Paul Byron potentially if we retain like 50%, because I think this is the last year of his contract or the second last year. I don't think we mind retaining on him and Price. Isn't your goal scorer Caulfield? Fazio, our goal scorer is Caulfield. It's just that he's not entirely scoring right now. I do think you want to give him another year or two, because here's the thing: if you can have a 50 goal scorer in Mishkov and then like a 40 goal scorer in Caulfield, that's perfect. If you can have as many goal scorers as possible, that's incredible. You know, I don't think you just need that one premier goal scorer. Well, obviously, like you can, but if Montreal can get both Caulfield and Mishkov to be goal scoring and have them on separate lines, or maybe like I said, the same line, I think that only does more to help out the Montreal Canadiens. Hines, Montembeault was not in the whole game. Montembeault came in the second period. Primo played the first period, allowed 3 goals on, I believe they said 12 shots. No, that can't be right. He allowed 3 goals on 9 shots. So Primo was out and Montembeault came in the second period. Harry, Adam Fantellini would do you wonders. Would you do wonders? Would you do you wonders? He is a hella skilled, very physical forward who is smart. Legit would go number 1 this year and will go 3 next year probably. Jack, I don't know about Fantelli. I don't know about Fantelli. I feel like that name does strike me as a guy who makes the NHL. I'm just not 100% sure about what type of NHL forward he would be. Like, just hearing his name, like I see him all over the lineup, honestly. Ducharme, yeah, exactly, Carmel. Exactly, Fazio. Ducharme makes Caulfield our dump and chase guy. Carmel makes a great point there. The Russian factor from the big cool British guy, British dude. Exactly, Fazio. Have a good night, dude. Hey, Sushi Boy, thank you for coming by, my guy. Appreciate it. Dauphin Stacy's got grit. Well, Hines, we don't need grit. We need goal scoring and consistency. Dauphin is not really that. Imagine Feisty's first game back when he returns. That game will go down in history books. Well, Gabriel, if fucking fans are even allowed. If fans are even allowed. Kulak will go Hines. I could see Kulak getting traded. I love Kulak, but I could see him getting traded. Really, Carmel? You think we're going to trade Hoffman already? Really? Caulfield isn't scoring because idiot Ducharme is putting on the third line. Exactly, Gabriel. Exactly. Like, I just said he's not scoring just because I didn't want to get into it. But exactly, Gabriel. He's fucking on our third, fourth line. And he's getting, like, second pairing power play time. He's getting, like, second pairing power play time, and no one's passing to him pretty much. What happens if we finish last but drop to, let's say, fourth in Lotto? We might get Savoy still, Hines, because Wright's probably going number 1. That other centerman, I forget his name right now, is supposed to go number 2. Savoy's kind of dropping a little bit. Savoy is dropping a little bit, so I believe he's about 4th now, I think. So there is a chance that we do get Savoy 4th, and I love Savoy. I do think he'd be a great, speedy guy to grab. But if we finish 4th in the Lotto, Montreal's gonna fucking riot again, probably. If we're at first overall in the NHL, and then we drop to fourth, for example, Montreal's gonna riot. And I don't know. Second. Oh, Savoy's still projected second. Really, Faggio? No, not Mirochichenko Hines. I have to look it up real quick. 2022 NHL draft. I'd look up draft lottery because I can just use that thing. That thing. I feel like Savoy's dropped though. That's weird. Oh fuck! No way, guys. Guys, no way. The draft's on my fucking birthday. No way. The first round is on July 7th, and the second round's on my birthday. It's on the 8th. Holy fuck, that'd be an awesome birthday gift. I'd love to go to the draft for my birthday. Holy shit, I just noticed that. Hell yeah. Wow, that's actually really cool. That's really awesome. Logan Cooley. Logan Cooley's the guy. I just saw. Logan Cooley. I feel like he's the guy projected to go second. But yeah, I do feel like we probably could get Savoy at fourth still, honestly. No way Fantinelli would go first in this draft, probably 3 as well. Really, Faggio. Interesting. Yeah, Fantilli, like, for me, Gabriel, it sounds good, like a decent NHL name. It strikes me as a good third-line guy, but, like, not necessarily like that big star centerman or a forward, you know? Awesome job, Zegras. Just call me Rip. Indeed, my guy. Zegras was fucking great tonight. If anyone has doubts about becoming something you think might be impossible, just think Ducharme has a job in the NHL. That is very true, Carmel. That is very true. Savoy still projected second. Faggio, that is really weird. Lambert, he's falling? Really? No way Lambert's falling. How the hell is Lambert still falling? Dude's so fucking good. Joachim Camille is apparently projected third right now, so Shane Wright would be the best. Oh, Gabriel, it would be a fucking great birthday gift. Like, I could probably bring a sign with me to the first round if I go. We're like, Habs, please draft Shane Wright for my birthday or something, or Habs get right for my birthday or something like that. Honestly, I'd love that. That would honestly be really cool. Craig's List. It's not. Oh, there we go. It's showing up now. Yeah, Matt Savoy is projected 8th right now, according to Craig Budden. Well, this is from January. From January. It's from the 12th. So right now he has Wright going first, Cooley going second, Camille third, Nemec fourth, Urov fifth, Slavkovsky seventh, and Matthew Savoy seventh or eighth. He has fucking Connor Geeky going 17. He has Brad Lambert going 18. Holy shit, this is a really, really bad ranking. Jack Hughes 32nd, so we can get a late first. Owen Beck 39th. Jesus, there's a couple guys I'm seeing here that are like really getting snubbed. Quinn Finley, if he's related to Jack, I might want to grab him. Maybe he stepped it up because I haven't checked on him. Oh, interesting, Faggio. Yeah, because for me, I've seen Logan Cooley like projected 7th a lot. All these names won't mean anything. Hughes will pick Hughes. Yes, he will, Carmel. Faggio, what would you do? Have you even watched him? He's easily better than Wright, Savard, maybe. Jack Wilson. I'm still not sold on Cooley personally. Yeah, Faggio. Savoy 8th. I think he honestly should be at least 5th. Like, at least 5th. Stepped it up, Lamar. He's been doing good all year. Really, Jack. Zach in the chat. Guys, go check out Nolan Hockey Podcast like usual. He's awesome. And Peg City Hockey, too. It's 5-1 Kill Me. Actually, Carter from Nolan Hockey Podcast and Jake from Peg City Hockey started a football channel together. There's a video on, I believe, both their channels about that. Go check it out. It's a really cool channel. But, Zach, I'm sorry if it's 5-1, my guy. Hey, at least JT Miller hasn't scored 4 yet. At least he hasn't gotten his 4th. I have a feeling Jack Hughes will be Duran 2.0, like the Hughes in this draft or the Jack Hughes in real life, or in real life. That's already in the NHL, King Julian. Because if you have a feeling he's going to be Duran 2.0 as a playmaker, get him. I want a first-round pick late that we can grab Jack Hughes with because I love Jonathan Drouin. If the Canadiens make the playoffs, I will PayPal you $50. If the Canadiens make it, if the Canucks make the playoffs, I will PayPal you $50. If the Habs make it, I'll PayPal. All right, well, I guess I'm not getting $300 then. I appreciate the effort, Clifford, but we're not making the playoffs. Canucks probably will, so yeah. Jack Hughes this draft, then yeah, King Julian, I want a late first rounder. Or if he ends up bumping up, I want a first round pick. That's kind of mid. Because here's the thing, you probably want to get like a mid-20s. Because I feel like that's when you probably will get Jack Hughes. I feel like there's some guys that are really going to drop this year's draft for some reason. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. Before the game, Byron and Gallagher both skated in non-contact jerseys. They might be ready for one of the weekend games, which we, by the way, we are actually going to be live, not play-by-play, but like usual, we are going to be live after the games, both on Saturday both on Saturday and on Sunday for the games against the Oilers and the Blue Jackets, I believe it is. So, yeah. Sami Niku also was put on waivers yesterday, and he apparently cleared. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad we still keep Sami Niku. I personally like him. Good to get him some games in the minors. And I assume when Joel Edmondson is finally back, whenever that might be, we're probably going to put him in the AHL for a conditioning stint, maybe 2 or 3 games. Ducks had some chances early in the first period. Habs were sliding all over the ice. There was 2 or 3 I saw that just didn't look great, or not didn't look great, but that were just sliding and losing their balance. It also happened a few more times. Kulak lost his skates once. There's another guy, I don't remember who. But yeah, Ducks almost capitalized, actually. They nearly had a 2-on-1. Habs went back the other way. Vedemo tripped up Stolar. Surprised there was no penalty there. Who has the best hair on the Ducks, McTavish or Milano? From what I remember, I got to go McTavish, Faggio. I'll look up both of them right now, and I'll see who got the best flow, who got the better hockey flow right now. Mason McTavish. Oh, he's got some good flow. He's got some really, really nice hair. And Sonny Milano. Oh shit! I think I might have to give to Sonny Milano. Thoughts on Kane to the Oilers? Is the Oilers your least favorite team? King Julian. I was gonna bring this up later in the stream. Kane to Edmonton. I was gonna bring this up, but I'll talk about this. I want to talk about the Kane to the Oilers thing. The Oilers are officially the most desperate team in the NHL, the most bottom of the barrel team in the NHL, and the most trash team in the NHL. Firstly, they have a GM in Ken Holland who doesn't have a fucking clue as to what he's doing. Trades in the offseason for Duncan Keith. Trades away Ethan Bear in the midst of getting these racist rants thrown at him by fucking classless Oilers fans. And then he goes out and grabs Evander Kane, who's a known wife beater, who's a known piece of shit, a known gambler, and that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but just clearly has not learned his lesson, and was terminated off his most recent contract because he violates COVID protocols to go from San Jose to Vancouver. And Edmonton, Ken Holland says, this guy needs a second chance. He was given a second chance when he was traded to Winnipeg. Or Buffalo, whichever one. I think he was traded to Buffalo. When he was traded to Buffalo. He was given a second chance when he went to San Jose. He was given a third chance when they sent him to the AHL. He's now given at least a fourth chance. At least a fourth chance. And the Buffalo Sabres get rid of him. The Buffalo Sabres, who have some of the lowest standards in the NHL, traded this guy to the Jets, who get rid of him after only like 2 years because of how much of a locker room trash pile he is. And the Sharks trade him, or the Sharks terminate his contract. The Sharks, who are known for faking injuries on the ice, Joe Pavelski, terminate his contract because he's a wife beater. He comes out as a wife beater. And the Oilers pick him up. Ken Holland says he needs a second chance. Has he not been paying attention to what's been going on with Evander Kane the last 9 years he's been in the NHL? Has he not paid attention to Evander Kane in the slightest to know what's been going on? Because in my opinion, the Oilers are not making the playoffs. They have officially eliminated themselves from playoff contention. The Edmonton Oilers are not making the playoffs. They should consider themselves eliminated right now. They are a bigger joke of a franchise than the San Jose Sharks for picking up Evander Kane. Evander Kane is not going to help out the Oilers. He might technically help them on the ice, but he's not going to improve the team. You know what I mean? He's going to be a locker room cancer like he was in Atlanta, in Winnipeg, in Buffalo, in San Jose. All right? Kane to the Oilers is maybe the worst possible decision they could have made. And they give him a fucking no movement clause on a 1-year, $2 million contract. You give this guy $2 million, firstly, which he shouldn't even be making league minimum. He shouldn't even be in the NHL anymore. If Slava Voinov, I find it weird. Slava Voinov was kicked out of the NHL pretty much, suspended for a year, and blackballed from the NHL for being a convicted wife beater. But Evander Kane, who is a wife beater, the charges get thrown out for some reason because, quote, she's not credible, even though she clearly is. She clearly is. And he gets to stay in the NHL because he's black and Kozlov is Russian. What I don't get, that's what I don't get, is that Kane gets to stay in the league and Voinov, I said Kozlov, and Voinov doesn't. Slava Voinov, it has to leave the NHL. Kane gets to stay in. Kyle Beach gets sexually assaulted, and he gets blackballed from the NHL. It takes Brad Myers another year to get kicked out of the Blackhawks organization. You know, and keep in mind, Evander Kane is the same guy who said there is no such thing as raping your wife. He is the guy who said that. And the fact that Evander Kane is still getting calls to go to join NHL teams such as the Oilers shows that the Oilers are the biggest joke in the NHL. I don't care what Raybro says. I don't care what anyone says. Kane is not going to help the Oilers, and I hope they extend him for 5 years, $5 million a year, because the Oilers don't deserve to make the playoffs. The Oilers do not deserve, if they're going to sign a piece of shit like Evander Kane, they deserve to trade all of their first-round picks for the rest of time that they're going to have Evander Kane, and all those picks deserve to be first overall, and all those players deserve to be so much better than what Evander Kane is going to be with the Oilers, what he has been. Evander Kane was never great in the first place. The only reason he got praise is because he's black, and one of the only examples of quote-unquote good black NHL players when Subon was around, when Simmons was around. There's one other guy that was around. Ryan Reeves is around, and yet Evander Kane gets the praise as the best black NHL player when Dustin Byfuglien's around as well. He wasn't even the best black player on his team in Winnipeg. So yeah, Kane to the Oilers, in short, it's a fucking joke. And like King Julian said, Holland is the biggest clown in the NHL. Exactly. Hey, Harry, Habs played catch up decently red. Yeah, we did, my guy. We definitely played catch up very, very well. Down 5-2. We ended up making it 5-4. It was really, really awesome. Evander Kane is a cancer in any team. Exactly, Randy. Exactly. Canucks really needed this. Clifford, they did, my guy. I mean, Jets arguably needed it a little more because they're in a mixed up, I think now a 6-game losing streak. But Canucks definitely needed it if they want to get into the playoff race again. Someone actually married that cuckoo. Apparently, Randy. Apparently, someone did. Apparently, someone married Evander Kane. We should trade for the first now while it's available. King Julian, we should, my guy. Oh, fuck. Rocha raid. Rocha, my guy. Rocha. We got Fade. We got Denzel, Rocha Jr., Shadow Chaser, Moses, Zyron, Ruben, Exclusive Kareem, John, Simple, Michael, Chase, Joe, Diamond. Oh my God, we got a Rocha raid. Rocha, how's it going, my guy? We got Michael, James, Oogie, Hyper, King SJ, Chase, Michael, Rocha, Michael, Jacob, all in the chat from the Rocha raid. Rocha, how's it going, my guy? Let's go Raptors, and let's go Golden Warriors, State Sharks, whoever they are. Let's go Warriors, my guy. Let's go Warriors. Man, Primo got worked again. Monty looks so much better. Yes, he did. Diamond, he really did. Menace, Nonor, Anthony, MCAT, Cage. I'm gonna DL. I'll just call you sorry. Fade, Ashton, Delicia. I'm sorry if I'm butchering under your names, guys. Oh, Richardson, Chris Brady. Hopefully you're related to Tom. Thank you guys for coming by, and I apologize if the stream looks like garbage. I don't have good Wi-Fi. So, yeah. Golden Warriors, State Sharks trade. I'm glad you do, man. Stupid. Let's go. Menace to the 7 Seas. Let's go. Guys, like the stream. Oh, thank you, Rocha, man. I appreciate it. Rocha Jr., thank you. Potato gameplay. Yeah, Menace. I'm sorry that the stream looks really bad, guys. Rocha, thank you so much for the raid, my guy. Oh, that's sick. Let's go, guys. Guys, go sub to Rocha. If you guys are in my stream and you haven't yet, go sub to Rocha. Dude's a goat. Dude's awesome. He streams a lot for Golden State Warriors, for I forget what baseball team he supports. I forget right now, unfortunately. He usually does them. He does them a lot when baseball's on and not in the lockout. Occasionally, very rarely, has streamed a San Jose Sharks game, but he roots for the Sharks. Go Knights, go! By the way, and yeah, he's and yeah, Rocha's just a really awesome guy. So Rocha, what a legend, my guy. What a Rocha, what a Rocha legend. Thank you, my guy. Giants, thank you, Jack. He goes for the San Francisco Giants. Thank you, Jack. He does those. He does those guys in the when baseball's going on. So thank you, Fazio. I will, man. I will. AK and AL, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for getting me the 20 likes, my guy. I'm gonna check the sub counter because whenever Rocha raids, he always tells guys to sub to me. So I guess we're nearing like 775 or something. So at least the Habs played to try to win AL, and we did. The Jets just gave up AL. I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. I heard they were down 5-1. Hopefully it hasn't gotten worse than that. Or 4-1. I heard. I forget if it was 5-1. I think I just made up that it was 5-1. But yeah, I'm gonna read Fajo's comment before the fucking Rocha raid. Rocha, such a legend, my guy. I hope the Warriors are doing good. I'm really surprised that the Michigan has 40% of the votes. I feel like the Michigan, it was really cool and unique the first time by Svetch, but now it's been used a lot. Now it's just a cool play. But the thing with the Michigan assist is we've never seen that move before, and it's so unique. Yeah, I agree, Fajo. Yeah, the Michigan, like the first time I saw it from Svechnikov was really awesome. I was like, holy shit, that's never been done. And same thing with the Michigan assist, like, holy shit, that's never been done, So you see it, and it's like really cool. But by like the fifth or sixth time, or in my case, the first time, which is the first time I've seen it when it happened, I was shocked. But by the fifth or sixth time, it's like, that's pretty cool. You still think it's cool, but it's like, oh, that's a really cool play by now. You're used to it. Hope you have a good night and have a good stream. Michael, thank you so much, my guy. Have a great night too. Enjoy the Rocha stream. Thank you, man. Liked and subbed. Rocha Jr., thank you so much, my guy. Much greatly appreciated. That's the only thing that sucks is I don't get notifications for some reason. Whenever people sub to the channel, I'd have to open up like Streamlabs or something, and I'll probably do that. I'll probably I'll probably start doing that in the future if I can remember. But 768 guys, we are so close. We're so close to 775 guys. That'd be sick if we can hit 775. But I was gonna say by the end of the month, but we're the 27th. By the end of February, if we can hit 775, that'd be sick. All those viewers in the raid and poll is still 60-40. Yeah, well, 35 votes. That's actually pretty good. I sub. Thanks, man. Hey, Chris. Thank you, guy. Thank you, Chris Brady, for subbing to the channel. Thank you, Rocha Jr. Much greatly appreciated. I love you guys so much in a non-homosexual way, unless you want it to be in that way. I like how you always give the option. I always got to give the option out there. You never know. You never know. Can we just trade the players we don't want for Zeus? Dixon, that'd be sick, man. Zeus, I'd like Jesus. Yeah, in the Nolan Hockey Podcasts streams all the time. Won like $10 off a bet he made. Oh, holy shit, Ale, that's sick, man. Hey, that's awesome. The Habs are close in this game. Yes, we were, Ale, which is a win, but sadly no win, but better odds for the first. Yes, Ale, it is a much better odds for the first for us. It's actually overall, I think, a win. Obviously, without getting the win. But with the Canadiens, and Carmel, I'll get to your comment in just a second. It's a win because we tried and we pushed in the first 10 minutes and pretty much the whole third period. We looked really good into the final like 2 minutes. Our guys looked great. Evans looked really good. He's looking like he's really developing into a good third line center for the Canadiens. And we don't win, which is better odds for, like you said, first overall, which better odds for Shane Wright or Matthew Savoy, who are the two guys I'd really want in this draft, or Brad Lambert. I love all three of those guys. Harry, have you embraced the tank? Ale, I embraced the tank about 2 months ago, I think, even. Right? Thursday, about Thursday, about 2 months ago. No, but January, about 2 months ago, I embraced the tank. I was like, yeah, you know what? We should go for first overall. We need the rebuild. But thoughts on the Jordan Subon incident? Carmel, I don't think I've seen the Jordan Subon incident. Is he one of the like 2 guys this week that had something racist done to them on the ice by another player? Made apparent racist gesture. Okay, yeah, I think I've seen that. I think. I heard about it. I didn't see what happened, but yeah, if it was legitimately racist, then yeah, fuck him. He deserves to be dropped. If it was like he said, I just looked it up real quick. If it's like he said and wasn't meant to be racist, then kind of iffy. But I mean, if it was meant to be racist, then fuck him. He doesn't deserve to be on the ECHL team. Yeah, Armia back to Buffalo. That's the pick we want. Hey, Dixon, give us a first, and we'll give you Armia. No, seriously, I think like a second or something will suffice for me. To me, it's crazy how the Habs went. Oh yeah, Ale, it's crazy for me too, because I was looking at the Habs this year. I was thinking, okay, maybe we can make the playoffs. Maybe we can be like a fourth overall in the league. No, we can be like a fourth in our division. Maybe a wild card team. Didn't expect us to be up there with the Lightning and the Panthers. But I didn't expect us to be fucking literal bottom of the league. Like I was thinking, okay, well maybe like barely miss playoffs, getting in a wild card. My expectations were about that. But for us to exactly like you said, to pull out Toronto Raptors, win the fucking world title, the NBA title, and then just completely out, fuck me, plummet to the bottom. It was just like, Are you kidding me? You know, Pineda tried to do a strong willy towards him, but the way he did it, how could it? Oh, I guess like a gorilla. It could look like a gorilla, I guess, because the wide willy is the thing where you just put your arms out and you kind of flex them. You kind of flex them downwards. That's what kind of Wilson did. Did he do it like kind of like this with the hands out, almost like a gorilla? Is that what he did? Because if that's the case, then yeah, I could see why he'd want to do a wide willy. But at the same time, I don't. Like why would you want to imitate Tom Wilson? It doesn't make sense. The Rocha dudes that came in they saw the poll and said, "What's a Michigan?" Well, they probably know it as a fesh. Hey, Rainer, thank you for the Rocha raid, my guy. You're a little bit late, but thank you very much for the Rocha raid, participating in the Rocha raid. Much greatly appreciated. Also, guys, I want to point out, apparently 1.2K views in the last 28 days is down for me somehow. Apparently, my typical range is 2K to 3.7K range, and I don't get that. And apparently, my watch hours is down. Okay, well, that's kind of understandable because we haven't done much this month. Actually, it does make sense because last month we actually did 25 Days of Harry, so it makes a lot of sense actually why the watch hours are down. That actually makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah. Sherrod and Armia back to Winnipeg with Faggio. If you guys want to give up a first round pick, at least. And yeah, Faggio, yeah, the league is back. I just got to get on creating a bunch of guys that are left to be created. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to do. And then we can get the league like fully back and up and running. So, yeah, Pitlick is looking great. How many points? Dixon, the kid overall, has he has 15 points, but he has 7 points in 8 games with the Montreal Canadiens. He's really looking great. I agree with you, my guy. He is looking really, really good. Chris Evans loves you. Hey, stoicism. Thank you, my guy. Chris Evans, I love him, man. Yeah, Fudge, after 2 months, yeah, my guy. I took the break for 25 Days of Harry, and then I fucking got sick and just got lazy. And then I decided, hey, fuck it, we're getting the league back up and running. So yeah, Faggio, I apologize for the 2-month hiatus, but hey, maybe it turns out better for us. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. I hope so. I don't know why I did that. I apologize if you feel harassed. Toffoli has a good steal from Shattenkirk. It went in the skates of Shattenkirk. Toffoli just steals it. A little bit of a burst of speed, but it's saved by Stolarz. Really good shot for him. Are you doing 25 Days of Easter? Caramel, I'd love to, but I don't want to burn myself out. Hey, I know you said that as a meme. Unfortunately, I wish it was legit, but yeah, no. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'd love to, but yeah, exactly, Faggio. We know who the better Pitlick is. Rent Pitlick, exactly. I'm ignoring the rest of your comment. Clearly, Rent Pitlick is the better of all 3 Pitlicks. I think Rem and Rent are brothers, and I think Tyler's their cousin. I think that's the relation. 6 points in 7 games. Thank you, Dixon. Well, either way, that's really good. That's still really good. Like, I think he went pointless in his first 2 games. So the fact he technically has 6 points in 5 games, technically with the Canadiens, that's really, really good. At least I'm pretty sure he went pointless in his first 2 games with the Canadiens. But he's been really good. The brothers, yes, they are Carmel. Rem is in our system, and Rem's in. I'm pretty sure that's the reason we picked up Rem. Was like, oh shit, we have Rhett. All right, yeah, we have Rhett. Let's pick up Pitlick. By the way, I've never heard of this Pitlick dude. Yeah, Faggio, I'd like barely heard of him too. I was like, oh, Habs claimed this Pitlick guy. Okay, I looked it up. Or I forgot if someone told me, but I was like, holy shit, he played really good. 11 points in 20 games. Why was he waived? And I started looking it up. It's like, oh, he's a 4th line. Guys were coming back. I was like, oh, it's Minnesota. That makes a lot of sense. They're getting their depth back. But yeah, I've been very happy. Nothing short of happy with what Pitlick's done. I have nothing but positive things to say about him pretty much. He's really good. How did this kid get claimed? Dixon. Well, Minnesota put him on waivers because they were getting their guys back, and Pitlick was kind of the odd man out because I believe he was starting to slow down for Minnesota. And yeah, we claimed him because I believe Arizona passed on him, or they might have had Pitlick, Tyler before and just got bad feelings. What happened to the wild dude before? What do you mean, Faggio? The wild dude before? What do you mean? Oh, Pitlick? He was a draft pick of the Predators. I believe signed with the Wild or picked up on waivers. That funny enough from there, I'm pretty sure. And just kind of having not a breakout year, but a really good year this year. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could say like a total of 18 points in like 31 games is kind of a breakout. He's pretty good. Wild guy. Oh, Wild Woohoo or whatever. I don't know. Not Wild Woohoo. That was a Stars Woohoo or whatever. I forget from the last stream. Was it Wild Guy? Yeah, I guess it was Wild Guy. Yeah, I don't know, honestly, Faggio. He just didn't pull up for some reason. I don't know why. That's weird. But yeah. Pithik is our next captain. Carmel, I'd be very happy if he was. Honestly, I would not mind that at all. Ducks back the other way. They had some good looks. Suzuki's line had great pressure. They were looking really damn good. Just nothing in terms of goals for them as Stolar stays solid. Shots were at this point 13-2 for the Canadiens. We were good right now. And because I put that Dupont Gord, what a grab. Yeah, Dixon Gord. Jeff Gorton, great pickup there. What a grab indeed, my guy. I'm really happy with Jeff Gordon's tenure so far with the one move that he's, but technically two, because I guess you can say Suzuki. Nico on waivers, I guess technically was a move from him, technically. So, yeah, not bad, honestly. Then the Ducks scored. Ken Holland is a big joke. Yes, he is Lemonhead. I agree with you 100%, my guy. He is a massive joke. But the Ducks score with a delayed penalty coming up. Sam Carrick on a breakaway from Sam Steele makes it 1-0. Weidman actually was the one that gave the puck away. Romanoff left alone on a breakaway trying to deal with it. Cannot blame him, and cannot blame Primo, really. Just a really solid shot. 1-0 Ducks with the breakaway goal. Habs then had immediate push looking to even up the game. Savard actually had a really good deke and a really good look at the net. Only real fans know that, yeah, Jeff Petrie claimed off waivers. Hell yeah, Faggio. Jeff Petrie claimed off waivers. I got to get that going again. I got to hook up my other PlayStation and run through some NHL 14. I looked at my other PlayStation for a second. I was like, oh shit, the light's not on for being off. I was like, the light's on. And I was immediately like, wait, no, it's not plugged in. Of course, the light's not going to be on. I'm very special, as you guys can tell. I am very special. Suzuki then had a burst of speed. Actually, this is before the Savard chance, but Suzuki had a big burst of speed. Nearly put the puck home to tie it, actually. Then Evans missed a wide open net, just shot it just wide. Actually not bad. Habs then had more push. Anderson was looking to turn on the Jets a little bit, was not able to. Then the Habs went to the power play. Ryan Getzoff gets called for tripping. Habs look for some passes. Petrie's going to Detroit. Where's dad played for the Tigers? Dixon, I don't think so. I think it'd be a cool story, like, oh, his dad played for the Tigers and his son plays for the Red Wings. I think it'd be cool. But Dixon, I don't think so. The Red Wings have a lot of really good young right defense prospects. The only way, because Lego Rocks made a clickbait video about this, but the only way I could see Petrie being traded to the Red Wings is like how people said Zdeno trade rumors. No, Lemonhead, I have not. Zdeno for Petrie? Why would the fucking Wings give up Philip Zdeno already? Is he just really not working out with them? Here's everything the Red Wings are doing to ignite. Oh, of course, yeah. Montreal Canadiens get a Jeff Petrie for Philip Zdeno trade work. Is he a left winger? Oh, he's a right winger. But he played left wing in Grand Rapids. Honestly, if he's a right winger or a left winger, I'd love Zdeno. Like, if we're doing like Zdeno, they're trying to get rid of their other defenseman big contract. Oh, would that be not Mark Stahl? Would it be what's his name? I forget. But yeah, honestly, I'd love to pick him up. Like fucking 6th overall pick. He's a right winger who can play left wing. I wouldn't mind him. Like 9 points in his first 9 games, 15-28. That's pretty good. 19-49. Only 11-41. Honestly, he seems like he'd either be a really good depth guy for the Canadiens, like a 3rd, 4th liner, or maybe he just clicks in Montreal. I don't know. Who knows? Like a former 6th overall pick, like I would do that. Honestly, like for Petrie, they're getting rid of that other defensive big contract. They do this every 2 years. What do you mean, Dixon? Here's the problem. It doesn't matter if Kane did the stuff he did before. If he is apparently great, he's still going to... Exactly, Faggio. Like, I understand with someone like Logan Mailloux because that's not nearly as bad as Kane. Kane beat his wife and said a bunch of really bad shit. Mailloux consensually had sex with someone older than him, by the way. He was 17, she was 19, so there's that. You also got to mention. But also that he took pictures non-consensually and spread them with friends. Yes, that's wrong. He was criminally punished and told teams not to draft him because he knew what he did was wrong and wanted to earn his second chance, and he's going to earn it now with the Canadiens. Like, here's the thing. Mailloux is clearly a good, talented player. He's going to earn that chance at redemption with the Canadiens. He didn't rape someone and take pictures. He didn't beat the girl he was with, at least as far as we know right now. He might have. We never know. But as of right now, he didn't. He just took pictures and shared them. Like that's all. Exactly, man. Mayu gets almost the same amount of hate. And here's the thing. Because he's in Montreal. It's because Mayu's in Montreal. If a team in the second round, like say the Islanders or say the Oilers, had taken Mayu in the second round, for example, people would still be saying like, "Oh, that's a weird pick. Yes, not to be drafted." I mean, okay, but because Marc Bergevin got on the big screen on TV and said the Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Logan Mailloux, that's why everyone's getting up in arms. Because Logan Mailloux is French, he's a defenseman, and because he has a quote criminal record, which I find it funny that he like you guys said, he gets almost the same amount of hate as Kane when he did far less. You could argue almost nothing compared to what Kane has done. Mayu, Harris, Gouli, Norris, Romy, and Black. I don't know. Is that? That's not Harris. Yeah, Dixon, we're going to have a great defensive core in the future, no doubt. Kane will be dope. Dropped for the Oilers. Still need a goalie, but he can fight. I mean, Dixon, here's the thing. Sure, he can fight, but not good. He's not good at all. They still need defense. They need depth. They need goaltending. The Oilers need pretty much everything except superstars because they have Draisaitl already. But Zdeno for Petrie, I mean, if we're throwing in like a third or something or a second to get that done, I'm down for it. But I can't see the Red Wings taking Petrie, like I said, because they already have enough right defense, and I don't know if Petrie can play left. Hey, Zach, I'm sorry to hear about the game, man. My apologies. That both our teams lost tonight, man. So I feel your pain for sure. Maybe not as bad tonight, but last game certainly. Or Holland is destroying the Oilers like he did with the Wings. Lemonhead, yeah, he really is my guy. And honestly, I hope he trades a first and Dylan Holloway to get Ben Sherratt. It'd be fucking funny. It'd be extremely funny trying to see Oilers fans, brainless Oilers fans, and Ray Bro, trying to defend that trade. It'd be really, really funny. It'd be really, really funny. We'll bring this Oilers fans and Ray Bro and whoever's a fan of the channel. Because if you're a fan of the channel and an Oilers fan, clearly you're not that dumb. Detroit takes a big defensive contract every 2 years. It seems like it, Dixon. They did it last year at the Mark Stahl. Danny DeKaiser, I think, was a defenseman when they signed him, I think. Yeah, I think. So, yeah. But Habs with the power play. Getzlaf gets called for tripping. Habs are looking for passes, but barely anywhere connecting, unfortunately. 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. Habs then immediately went to the PK. It was Dauphin for high-sticking Getzlaf, actually. He would go to the back, Getzlaf would, and he would not return for the game as far as I could tell. He would not come back to the game. Your hair is dead. Nicholas, yeah, it is my guy. Nicholas Turcotte. You have the last name as one former friend who I used to go to school with. You have the same last name. I wonder if you guys are related. But Nick, yeah, my hair is fucking dead, my guy. I agree. Let's just do this. That's good enough. Actually, no, I don't like that. I don't like my hair. Good enough. If my hair gets in front of my face, I'll deal with it eventually. I'll find it eventually. That looks beautiful. That looks beautiful, guys. But it's double minor as Getzlaf was bleeding. Again, Getzlaf would not come to the back. Would not come. He would. I mean, he might have come. Who knows? He would not come back to the game. He would not come back for the rest of the game. So hopefully Getzlaf's fine because I really like Getzlaf. He's a good captain. And yeah, Nicholas, I want to shave my hair. Honestly, I really, really want to share. I really want to shave my head. I love how I look with no hair or with like a mohawk or something. Actually, last year I had the Natalie Domer type of haircut, where you shave off the hair on one side and you flip it all on the other, or you shave this side and you drag it over, you swoop it over to the other side. I had that last year. I thought it looked pretty good. I actually really liked the way it looked. Peachy family's in Detroit now. Dixon, if they are, then we'll see if if they live there, then yeah, there's none to look at. But if they just moved there, might be a hint, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know how that would go. We'll see. We'll see though if Petrie gets traded there. I'd hope not, because Detroit's probably gonna fleece us because it's Steve Yzerman, and he's only slightly better than Marc Bergevin. But I mean, hey, we'll see. Ducks had nothing but pressure, and they would score. Cam Fowler gets the 2-0 lead with a power play goal. Habs were able to kill the other one off. They weren't amazing, 1 for 2. And then the Ducks score. It was a big OV-style goal from the circle. It's Troy Terry's 24th of the year for the 3-0 Ducks lead. Apparently, it was credited as a power play goal, but I recall seeing 5 Habs on the ice when that happened. So I don't know. It might have been a power play goal, and I might have fucked up, but I feel like it wasn't a power play goal. Coyotes apparently in talks to use ASU's 5,000-seat capacity arena for a temporary home to use until the Tempe arena gets built, but I thought they didn't have enough votes to build it. Fagio, from what I understand, is the Tempe project is at a standstill because there's equal votes. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 yes, 5 no, and it's like 3 unsure. It's something like that where it's going on where they're unsure about building Tempe. In Arizona, I'm pretty sure is who is voting in it. But yeah, if they do use if they get the approval to use ASU, no one's going to Arizona. No one is going to Arizona, and it'd be funny if that building still doesn't sell out for the Coyotes. Like I'd hate it because I kind of like the Coyotes. I'm like, yeah, I want to see them do good, but at the same time, it'd be so funny. Well, the Coyotes did not sell out 5,000 seats. It'd be funny. Suzuki, Caulfield, Wright, and Zdeno would be pretty good if that were to happen in our top 6. Lemonhead, I agree, my guy. And then you add maybe Mishkov in like 4 years if Zdeno even develops, Add in maybe Sean Farrell or Jan Misek, Ooh, I'm getting excited just thinking about that. Fucking dude, I still think Sean Farrell is going to be amazing. I still think Sean Farrell is going to be that elite first line left winger for the Canadiens. I mean, unless we get Phillips, well, not unless we get Phillips Zdeno. I do think Zdeno would pan out, though. That's the only issue is that it would mean Jan Misek has to go down to a third line left wing potentially, or right. Who knows? Maybe Zdeno gets to play right. Who knows? Maybe our right wing depth is Caulfield, Zdeno, Toffoli, and Anderson. Maybe we'll give you Sherratt, Galliarmia in 2 seconds for Zeus. Dixon, who is Zeus? Do you mean Zdeno? Who's Zeus? And they still won't sell the guys exactly, Podge. I'm glad you found that funny, my guy. I'm glad. Habs had nothing right now. It was all Ducks. I think Zdeno plays. Lemonhead, it's weird. I saw on Google it lists right wing for the Wings, but in Grand Rapids he played left wing. So I don't know if he can play both or if he's like he had to be moved to left wing in Grand Rapids for some reason. But if he can play both, I'll be happy. But if he can only play right wing, then hell, I'll still be happy because having potentially Sherratt, Zdeno, and Toffoli or Anderson, I'd be happy. I'd be happy. Oh, the guy. For Zegras. Oh, for Zegras. Yeah. Dixon, I don't think Anaheim's even going to consider getting rid of Trevor Zegras. But if they ever do, Montreal should be in on him. I'd love Trevor Zegras on the Canadiens. Harry, at this point, you should do Happy Harry instead of Sad Harry because, well, that is true, NZA. That is true. That is true. Technically, it should be Happy Harry for the winning for the losing thumbnails. Technically, it should be. Technically. I think Zdeno plays right wing second line on our team. I see what you mean, Lemonhead. Yeah, probably. I do think that would probably be the case. Oh yeah, NZA. Trevor Zegras was a beauty tonight. He's always a beauty. I don't think Anaheim's ever going to want to trade him. If they ever do, Montreal should go knocking immediately. Lemonhead, yeah, Sherratt first defense pairing. That's when you know we're just trying to beef him up to get him gone at the deadline, or just trying to spruce up his trade value, pretty much. Ducks were working over the Canadiens. They were looking to push it to 4-0 before the end of the period. Troy Terry actually had a really good skating shift, nearly put it home. But at the end of the first, NZI, I wish we had Zegras too. I love Caulfield, but just imagining having Zegras, damn it, that would have been good. But in my head, Zegras on the Canadiens doesn't really work to me. I think Caulfield on the Canadiens works a lot more, personally. Instead of Zdeno filling our net with pucks, he'll say, I'll fill every other net up. Exactly, Lemonhead. Because Zdeno usually does do pretty good against the Canadiens when the Wings come in town. But I'll fill every other net. We will give you all our picks from 3rd to 7th this year and those trades. Hey, Dixon, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good trade right there, my guy. That's a pretty good trade. But the end of the first, it's 3-0 Anaheim, and shots were 16-9 Canadiens. That would make the Arizonas. That would make the Arizonas. The Yotes, the team with the least amount of seats in their arena. They would probably be behind the current least amount of seats, who is sadly Winnipeg with 14,500, which is 10,000. Jesus. Fagio, honestly, yeah. If Arizona goes to a 5,000 seat arena, you honestly might as well just relocate them to Houston. You honestly might as well just relocate them to Houston. Holy shit, my hair is a goddamn mess. I fucking took a shower today. Or not today, it was yesterday I took a shower. I fucking took a shower yesterday. Why the hell is my hair like this? I don't know why my hair is so fucking messy. Might be stupid, but Zegras reminds me of Crosby. Yeah, kind of. I see that, honestly. I do see that in his game. He is a very patient player, very, very good offensively. I think he just needs to work a bit on his defense, and he'll definitely be very reminiscent of Crosby. For sure, NZA. I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, shots were 69 Canadiens, but it was 3-0 Anaheim. Primo's out, Montembeau's in. Montembeau, who's dealing with a wrist injury. They didn't say which one on the broadcast, but he is dealing with a wrist injury, and Montembeau goes in for it. Yeah. Sorry. Habs had some nice chances early in the second period, and we'd score. Evans falling down, gets a pass from Pitlick. The other assist going to Anderson. It is 3-1. And then here we go. 10 seconds later, Trevor Zegras with the fucking lacrosse move. Trevor Zegras puts the puck on his stick, flips it around the net, and it's in. 4-1 Anaheim. We will be lucky to have 500 fans. Oh, no way, Dixon. We will easily sell out the building. If fans get if we draft number 1, everyone is going to that draft to see a potential, technically, a franchise level player, arguably, because first overall are supposed to be franchise level players. At least I think that's what the definition of first overall seems to be with a lot of people. But get at least a really good hockey player in Shane Wright. I think a lot of Montreal fans are going to go. K gets a bonus. I think he means 500. Oh, yeah, Lemonhead. The Mish where Petrie is going. What do you mean, Dixon? But yeah, if it's 500 for the pandemic, fuck, those ticket prices are going to go way up. Like, because I think the ticket prices for usual drafts are like $40-$50, something like that. But yeah, it's probably going to go up to about 200 per, which at that case, fuck that. At which case, fuck that. I don't want to go to the draft if it's going to cost $200 per ticket, unless someone else is buying, which in that case, hell yeah, I'm down for that. But if it's, literally in my fucking wallet, where is my wallet? The fuck? Where is my wallet, actually? I'm trying to find my wallet. Hey, yo, wallet, where bees you, my guy? Where bees you, my black, literal black wallet? Where is my black wallet? I can't find my wallet right now. Is it behind me? No, it's not behind me. Whatever, I'll find my wallet later. I've got like $8 in my wallet. I can't afford Habs tickets right now, let alone for the draft. But yeah, the lacrosse goal. I was absolutely shocked because it's the first time I've seen lacrosse like done in a game I'm watching as it happens. So it's 4-1. Ducks. I'm not gonna lie, the arena the Yotes are supposed to play in next season is kind of nice. And to be fair, Arizona has no fans, so to me it doesn't matter where they play. There will be either empty seats. Yeah, NZA. Yeah, I agree, my guy. So it just kind of makes sense if they'd go to 5,000 seater. Or NZA, are you talking about Tempe, or are you talking about the 5,000 seater that they're supposed to play in next year? Because I haven't seen pictures of either of them. If Tempe has like a concept picture out there of like what it's supposed to look like, I haven't seen anything yet. Ducks had more push, but Habs had a lot of speed. Romanov was having some really good shifts with some good hits out there to try and get us in the game. Habs had a few shots. We were not letting the Ducks get shots on Montembeau. Habs were looking for chances. Kulak had a big blast from the point, looked pretty good. Canadiens were looking good. We got really good shots on Stolars. We were trying to get some goals past him, trying to make a move. We were doing some good things. Then we went to the power play. It was a tripping minor on Sam Carrick, and we'd score, I believe, the 6th straight game that the Montreal Canadiens get a power play goal. And I'm trying to see if we scored on the power play. We were 0 for 2 against Minnesota, I believe. Were we 0 for 2? Yes, we were 0 for 2 on the power play, I'm pretty sure, against Minnesota. But still, 6 of our last 7 games have included a power play goal for us. Well, I'm referring to the arena for... Oh, yeah, NZA. I've not seen pictures of that arena then, actually. But hopefully it's good. Toffoli causes the turnover. Gets it to Mike Hoffman, who dekes out the stick of Stolars from right behind the net. Gets it past Suzuki to Lehkonen. Boom into the net. Power play goal for Artturi Lehkonen. That's the type of goals that'll get you a first-round pick for Lehkonen. 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Habs had a bit more pressure, a few good looks for us, especially from Evans and Anderson. They looked really confident together. And Pitlick as well. Maybe they can sell out. Dixon, I don't know if they'll sell it out. Arizona, again, does not have fans, and to watch a rebuilding team like that, unless their tickets are either fucking free or they're like $2, Arizona's not selling out that arena every night. At least in my opinion. The poll has more votes than Yotes fans. Drac, I agree, my guy. How many people have voted? Like 40? 42 people have voted on the poll. So yeah, 768 subs currently, unless refreshing pulls up a different number. We are currently at I don't know. YouTube is not going to load for me. I'll let it load. I'll give it a couple minutes. But yeah, so we were 1 for 2 in the power play tonight. Habs had a bit more pressure, a few good looks, like I said, especially from Evans and Anderson. Canadiens with more chances, but Ducks coming back the other way. Some nice looks for them. And then Zegras scores. It's 5-2 Ducks. A beautiful wrister from near the point. Gets it, I believe, from Troy Terry. Right back to Zegras, and it's a beautiful goal. Habs had some more push after the Zegras goal. Canadiens looking really solid. Ducks had a bit more push, but there were no shots for them. Late in the period, Ducks had some good looks, but no goals. So it was 5-2 Ducks, 100,000 subs, and you go skydiving. Oh, Caramel, no chance. I would honestly need like 100,000 subs for me to even consider going skydiving because I hate heights. Oh, boo, we're back down to 759. So either people's unsubbed or YouTube's probably just doing what YouTube's probably just doing is taking them away to verify the subs. So that actually makes a lot of sense if that is what they're doing. But yeah, the Canadiens. Jeremiah, how's it going, my guy? Going to the All-Star game. Hey, let's go, Jeremiah. That sounds sick. Let's go. Who is the Habs representative? It is Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki will be representing the Montreal Canadiens at the NHL All-Star game. Sent a picture in the Discord. All right, NZ, I'll check in a second. Man, if they can't sell that out, how bad does that look? Well, Dixon, I don't think it looks bad on the NHL. It just looks bad on the Arizona Coyotes with how bad they are. I think that's it says more about the Arizona Coyotes than it does about the NHL, at least in my opinion, I think. But Jeremiah, how's it going, my guy? That's fucking awesome. You're going to the All-Star game, my guy. I will say that we're starting to crawl back and not get blown out. Mr. Greedo, I agree, my guy. Despite the game against Minnesota, that was actually an outlier. Like, we've actually been really, really good since we've hired Kent Hughes. Now we just need to get rid of Dom Ducharme and get a good head coach, and we should actually be pretty good. Here's a picture of the arena. Oh, that actually is a really nice arena. Honestly, if the Arizona Coyotes were to play there, that actually really isn't that bad. It looks like a college arena, but honestly, I would kind of fuck with that. I would kind of fuck with that arena, honestly. I'll be 100% honest. Haha, Harris, I used to jump out of airplanes and helicopters easily in my military. Oh, shit. It's easy. You could do it, Harry. Oh, I don't know, Jeremiah. I really don't like heights. So honestly, for me to jump out of a helicopter, even with a parachute on or whatever, I would either need someone to hold on to me to do it, or I'd need someone to just fucking push me out. I would need that to happen. There's no way I'd be able to do it myself. But goddamn, you used to jump out of airplanes and helicopters. Almost said hurricanes. You used to jump out of hurricanes. You used to jump out of airplanes and helicopters in your military career. Honestly, I gotta respect you, Jeremiah. I gotta respect you for that. I don't know if I could do it. Like it's obviously like easy jumping out of a helicopter with a parachute and whatever. It's just for me, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it because of how high it would be. Ducharme does more harm than good. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, Mr. Greedo. I could not agree more. Yeah, it's actually a nice arena, NZ. I agree. It looks really, really good. So honestly, I wouldn't mind Arizona playing there because it looks like a really nice arena. Actually, it's actually really nice. I kind of like that on TV. You might be able to see like some of the vendors because I don't know if on the left side where you sent it, if that's like for like snacks or whatever. I don't know if that's what it is or if it's just an opening for like box seats or whatever. But if that's like a place for people to make for like a popcorn or whatever, that sounds sick, honestly. It honestly looks like it'd be a vibe in that arena. Yeah, they don't let beginners have to do a tandem jump before yet you get to do. Yeah, I can't speak apparently. Before you get to go solo. Really, Jeremiah? So if I'm understanding that correctly, they don't let you do a tandem jump with someone else. You have to do it solo at first. That doesn't sound that safe, unfortunately. A nice juicy burger coming in. How's it going, my guy? The sad thing is the arena in Glendale is nice. Really, Jeremiah, I've not seen the arena in Glendale. Let me look it up real quick. No, that's KSL. I don't need the catch-up sim league open yet. Glendale, Arizona Arena. I don't know. I was gonna look up Arizona Coyotes Arena, but Glendale, Arizona works. The Gila River Arena. Oh, that actually does look nice. That actually is a really nice arena. Actually, that looks pretty good. That actually does look nice. Jake Evans' goal was beautiful for sure. NZA. Both of them were really nice looking goals actually from Evans for sure. Both of them are really nice. But yeah, Habs had some more push after the Zegras goal. Canadians looked decent. Habs had a bit more push after Canadians had some chances, but there were no shots for the Ducks. Late in the period, Ducks had some good looks, but again, no goals. So it was 5-2 Ducks into the third period. Shots were 28-14 Canadians. Spoiler: this would be those goals would be the last that Montembeault allowed for the rest of the game. Habs pushed early in the third. We had some speed. And then we scored again. No, sorry, Harris. You have that backwards. You have to do a tandem jump, the jump master. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, Jeremiah. That makes a lot of sense. Then you have to do the tandem jump first. That does make a lot of sense. So that's actually a lot safer, and I'm actually a bigger fan of that. Can you guys? Okay, I'm just going more to the right. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Jeremiah, for the clarification. I appreciate that. So yeah, if you have to do a tandem jump first with a jump master before you can jump solo, that's really good. That really makes a lot of sense. Thank you, my guy. They make you tie up to someone the first 2 times. Okay, thank you, Dixon. I appreciate both of you guys tell me that. A nice juicy burger. I got recommended randomly. I have a friend Rancet Tetris clicked on your channel. Hey, well, nice juicy burger. Thank you for popping in, my guy. I don't know if you're a hockey fan, if you're just a Tetris fan or whatnot, but thank you for coming by to the stream, my guy. I don't know if it was the Habs fan rages in the title or the rages at Tetris that intrigued you. It might have been the thumbnail, because I think that's the stream where the thumbnail is just a really zoomed in picture of my face. If so, I hope you enjoyed Le Funny Epic thumbnail. But yeah, thank you for coming by, my guy. Thank you. Big, nice, tasty, juicy burger. Thank you. I don't know why I added big and tasty in there. I guess I just really want a burger, even though I don't eat burgers. But thank you for coming by, my guy. Habs had more push. I didn't even go over the goal, but we scored. Pitlick gets it to Evans right in front of the net. He has a 2-goal game. Evans with a really nice 5-3 deficit now. Evans actually had never had a career hat trick at this point. I was really hoping he would get it. Spoiler, unfortunately, he would not, as you can tell, because I'm not wearing the hat trick hat. Habs had more push. We were looking really good and fast. We clearly wanted to tie the game. But then we'd go to the PK. Pitlick gets called on a very iffy looking, at least in my opinion, tripping call. Habs actually get a few short-handed looks, but nothing major. Sorry. Ducks were not able to score either, so it was 2 for 3 on the PK tonight. All my Army jumps are static line, no shoot, rip cord to pull. It's a cable that's anchored on the aircraft. I had some video of dropping some U.S. Air Force paratroopers out. I'll drop it in your Discord. Hey, thank you, Jeremiah. It's huge. Holy shit, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to see it. I forget if you're in my regular Discord or just the Sim League. I forget, actually, unfortunately. But yeah, that'd be fucking awesome, my guy. That'd be awesome to see. Let's go, Heinz. Let's go. Heinz did it. Let's go. But yeah, I'd love for you to post it in whichever Discord you're in. That'd be awesome, my guy. Pretty weird. Us, Toronto and Ottawa have no fans in the stands. And see, it is really weird. It is really weird that Quebec and Ontario are just really dumb about that. Yeah, February 7th. Thank you. So yeah, guys, February 7th, the capacity, I believe, goes up to 50%. So thank you, NZA, for reminding me about that the fan capacity in the Bell Center will go back up to 50%. It was funny going back and seeing your bracket prediction last playoff and seeing how almost the complete opposite happened. Yeah, Carmel, because I believe I predicted Oilers to beat the Jets, and then the Leafs to beat the Canadiens, the Leafs to beat the Oilers, the Leafs to go to the Cup Finals, and it ended up being us who goes to the Cup Finals. We beat the Jets, who beat the Oilers. We beat the Golden Knights. So I think I actually said the Knights would beat the Avalanche in the second round. I think I said something like that. So technically I was right in there. I'm not too sure, actually. Harry, I haven't got to chat with you in a minute. How do you feel about the new president and Gordon and the new GM, Jeremiah? I'm a big fan, honestly. I really like the new president of hockey operations. That's what he is. You saying president just reminded me. He's the president of hockey operations. To anyone that was asking, Jeff Gordon is the president of hockey operations. There we go. Thank you, Jeremiah, for technically reminding me of that. But I really like Jeff Gordon, his rebuild with the Rangers. Really liked what he did with them. Apparently he was a scout for the Bruins as well, the year that they got Lucic and Marchand, and I forget Krejci as well, but They got 3 really good guys in 2006's draft, which is when Gordon was around with them. Really like Jeff Gordon. I my faiths with him. You know, he hasn't really done anything to prove otherwise if he's been a consistently bad GM in the past. I'm a big fan of him, and I think he's kind of the real GM until Kent Hughes is like ready in 3 years, I think. But yeah, I definitely think that Jeff Gordon's going to be a great president, and I have faith in Kent Hughes as well. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with Kent Hughes as the choice because he is from Montreal and speaks French, so you can appease the French people. But he's also has a really English name and is a really successful player agent. And I think hiring player agents as GMs is going to work out to be really successful because Kent Hughes has a lot of connections within Quebec players. Bergeron, Letang, I believe they says Jonathan Huberdeau as well as one of them that he's a big agent with. Get out of here, the Russian bots. And so if it means getting really talented Quebec players instead of Cedric Paquette, then I'm all for it, honestly. I'm all for Kent Hughes. And if he can prove himself that he's a really solid GM and not just a really good player agent, I'm happy for that as well. I'm really happy with the hirings for sure. And I think it's going to be a really good rebuild for the Canadiens. I think it's going to be a good next 2 to 3 years in terms of movements, not necessarily on ice play might be good, but not necessarily in the win columns. You said Vegas, Islanders, Carolina, Toronto. Yeah, and only Vegas made it there. Toronto was out in the first round. Actually, no, Islanders went there. Islanders lost to the Lightning. So I got Vegas and Islanders right. I just got Carolina wrong because they beat Nashville, lost to the Islanders, I think. I forget. And then Toronto obviously lost in the first round because why wouldn't they? They've been saying they have a trade for Drouin. Really, Dixon? Toronto should be kept close to fans so they can save up their money and buy, I don't know, fucking Fortnite V-Bucks. Better than watching the Leafs be got off on the playoffs. True, NZA. Couldn't agree. Speaking of Hughes, he has talked to LeCavalier, and LeCavalier said it would be a once-in-a-lifetime option. NZA, that's pretty cap because LeCavalier turned down Price, Pacioretty, Subon, and a first to come to Montreal. He turned down that trade between Montreal and Tampa. Or actually, no, he didn't turn it down. No, sorry. He wanted to come to Montreal. So, maybe. Seems like a former agent would be really good at the cap, too. Yeah, true. It also seems like they're going to build right and not rush the process and try and compete every year and do a rebuild. And Carolina lost to Tampa. Thank you, Jeremiah. So Carolina lost to Tampa, who then beat the Islanders and then beat the Canadiens, unfortunately. So thank you, Jeremiah. But yeah, I feel like a former agent would actually be good at the cap too, Jeremiah. Like you said, like if we were to go, like I don't know if Kent Hughes would be good to use as a capologist as well, or just get another player agent who's also good at capology. I find capology really funny as a subject for some reason. But yeah. Because the player agents do kind of have to look at the cap a lot and be like, all right, this guy can make this much for the team. This guy should make this much, blah, 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 and whatever. And yeah, I do think that a player agent would be really good at the cap for sure. And yeah, if it seems we're going to build right, I mean, to be fair, it's not necessarily that we're going to rush the process. I think Jeff Gordon, because what he did with the Rangers from like 2017 to 2021 was only about 3 to 4 years. That's a very fast rebuild considering the standard with the Oilers and the Hurricanes and whatever. It's a very fast process. And the Islanders from 2000 to like 2010, or 2014, it seemed like it took them to rebuild. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And hey, if it ends up only being like a 2-year rebuild because of Gordon and Hughes being really good, I'm all for it. If it ends up taking 4 to 5 years, then you know what? Hey, I'm fine with it. I will trust the process with Gordon and Hughes. But yeah, if we're gonna try and compete, if we're not gonna rush the process to try and compete every year, and we're gonna do a true rebuild, I'd be very happy about that. Letang put a huge mess online. Do you think that could be Dixon? What did Letang put out? I'll look that up real quick. Chris Letang. I'd assume it'd be out there if it's just what he did. No, I looked something up. Don't tell me that you put that in my general chat. Okay, good. I thought maybe you would have put in the general chat for some reason. Penguins need Chris Letang, but Montreal could overpay. Tribune review. Mark Madden, are you fucking retarded? Penguins need Chris Letang, but Montreal could overpay for a French Canadian defenseman. Firstly, no. Secondly, fuck off. Thirdly, no. We're not getting Letang in free agency. B, we're not trading for Letang. in free agency, and C, we're not going to sign Chris Letang in free agency because we're rebuilding, unless he takes like $1 million for a year just to help us, I guess, at the deadline. LeCavalier will probably be assistant GM. Yeah, Carmel. LeCavalier would probably be an assistant GM. When I was young, LeCavalier was one of my favorite players. Hey, no way, Anzia. That's fucking cool. Let's go. I've actually never seen LeCavalier play, really. Gordon is going to be the advanced scouting in the draft, and the other guy's going to sign free agents, keep the cap working right. Yeah, not much process. I saw what you mean now, Jeremiah. But yeah, it seems like that's what I said when Gordon was first hired. Is he seems he's going to be more of a scouting type of president of hockey operations. I think that's what they're supposed to do. Not supposed to do, but it seems like that's what they're usually going to do. Is like scouting and whatnot, and looking at players to grab for the draft. And yeah, if Ken Hughes is going to be working more on like free agents and like trades and that type of deal, I'd honestly be happy about that, because I think that's actually a really good combination. You don't have both guys working at the exact same tasks. You give one guy some, you give the other guy some. Obviously, they're going to get involved with each other occasionally, but yeah, if we're not rushing the process, I'd be more than happy. And yeah, 4 years is great. Pretty much the Oilers are still shit. Exactly, Jeremiah. The fact that they just paid the fuck out of Vander Kane for no reason, which I'm really happy your Capitals dropped out of that apparently, because holy shit, I would not have been happy for you if Kane signed with if you guys tried to sign him. But yeah, and they still need defense, they still need depth, they still need goaltending. They pretty much need everything except superstars, pretty much. They already have Draisaitl. But yeah, 4 years is great for a rebuild. I agree, and especially with how stacked these drafts are supposed to be for the next 2 to 3 years. This is the perfect time for Montreal to rebuild. Get Bergie as capologist. Well, Bob, I would love to, honestly, if it weren't for the fact that he just signed with, what's it, LA. He just signed with LA. Bob is Evan still overpaid. There you go, Carmel. To our new GM, Letang sent a message to Hughes. Really, Dixon? I didn't know that. How would you know? How would you know? It's only one game. Well, I mean, Bob, clearly it's a great one game. Oh, Jeremiah, use not StreamYard. What's it called? Streamable. Look up. I'll put it in the chat right now. Not the link, but it's streamable. Not in all caps, but it's streamable. You can upload the file on there. It might take a while, but you can post a link to that in the Discord. But it's streamable. I used to play with the Lightning a lot in 05 and 06 because of him and St. Louis. Yanzi on 07 on PSP, because I have that totally legitimately. I play a lot with the Lightning. It's really, really fun. It's really, really fun. And yeah, even in like 12 and 13, when I'm playing as Philly or whatever, I'm always like, damn, like Catholic is like really fun to play as. Or like 15, whenever he joined Philly. But yeah, I barely play as the Lightning with LeCavalier, funny enough. I think St. Louis still on there in 14, I think. I won't be able to send the. Oh, I just read that. I think Tampa or Avs. Really, Dixon. I could maybe see the Tampa Bay Lightning three-peating. I feel like the Avs, this would be their year to win the cup. I think it's either going to be the Avs, if they somehow make the playoffs, the Islanders, because the Islanders always seem to do great as big-time underdogs. That felt really weird. Or I don't know why I see the Capitals winning. When I think 2022 Cup champions, I think Vegas, Islanders, or the Capitals. And it's not because Jeremiah is in the stream, but genuinely, I think 2022 Cup champions. I think Capitals, Knights, or Islanders. You know, I don't think Habs. I don't think Habs for that. Letang is staying in Pittsburgh. Exactly, Jeremiah. He's gonna resign in Pittsburgh, and if he somehow doesn't, overpayments incoming from a team. I don't know what. Yeah, 1.7 million is not overpaid for a third line center. Bob. He joined Philly in 13, so NHL 14. Thank you, NCAA. So yeah, whenever I play 14 and 15, last gen, not next gen. Whenever I happen to play as Philly, I'm always like, damn, like Cavalier is like really fun to play as, even though he's like an 83 in that game. It's always like, damn, he's like really, really nice to control. I really like that. Also, boys, quick update. I'm doing NHL 20 achievement hunting, or at least I was like last week. My guy is now at about 30 games played and almost 400 points in his career. So yeah. Oh God, Caps have been shit. Isles are missing the playoffs. Oh yeah, Florida. I forgot about Florida. I could see Florida winning the cup. 22 Cup champion, 2022 Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. That actually works a lot for me. I see it more as 2023, honestly. Jeremiah. Well, actually, maybe both years even. I could see Florida not repeating, maybe, but I could definitely see them winning the cup one of these years. But yeah, Caps unfortunately been shit, guys. Just get Ovi some goals, my guy. Get Ovi a 60-goal year. Jeremiah, I know the Caps can do it, my guy. Knights would be inner Ike. What do you mean, Dixon? Florida makes the second round. I could see that, man. I could see that, my guy. I could see Florida making the conference finals. Honestly, I do think they're going to probably beat Tampa along the way, though. I see Habs, Philly, or Coyotes Cup champions in 2022. Me too, Lemonhead. Me too. I think Habs, Flyers, and Coyotes definitely have what it takes to get to the cup this year. I mean, they're top 3 in the league right now. They're top 3, and I could definitely see Habs, Flyers, or Yotes being the cup champs this year for sure. Jeremy Roenick. Jeremy Roenick is the greatest NHL video game player of all time. I think 94 unstoppable. Really, Jeremiah. Funny because there's a guy in my league who plays NHL 94 like a lot, and he always says like the Canucks, like Bure, Linden, and I forget who else is on that line, but they're like the best to play. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never played NHL 94. I barely play 94. I hated 94 Rebuilt when I played it on PS4. Toronto goes out in 6. Dixon, no. It's always Toronto goes out in 7. They always go out in 7. Or the most amount of games that it takes. He has 29. Let's go. I would love Ovi to get 60. Jeremiah, I'd love that too, my guy. I'd love Ovi to get 60. You're going to love to hear this, but in my NHL 21 franchise mode, I signed Ovi to Quebec because for some reason Washington let him go. This is before the 5-year extension was in game. I think I signed him for 5 years. Dude has over 1,000 goals in the NHL now. And he got his 1,000th goal, I think, against the Capitals. Or no, he was held pointless against the Caps the next game in Washington, and the next game he scored his 1,000th. Armia 1 goal. He shows up for 5 games. Evans is worth Evans is not worth 1.3 if he was in Tampa. Did you not hear me last game? Last game technically, when you said he'd be a 4th-line center on most teams, and I pointed out how 8 of the 10 top teams he'd be their 3rd-line center. Bob, were you not there for that? It's like golf, right? Least points wins. Exactly, Lemonhead. Exactly. Least amount of points least amount of points wins the Stanley Cup. That's exactly it. Bure is awesome. The Leafs are really good. The rebuild didn't have the old roster. Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah, Bure is fucking cool. I love Fabo Bure. One of the greatest, fastest skaters of all time. One of the best scorers of all time. If he was injured and didn't have to retire, kind of really, because I think he retired at like 31, I'm pretty sure. He'd easily go down as one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. Do you think when Toronto wins, it'll be in black and white or radio? Dixon, both probably. 500K more, exactly, like Bob. Like, sure, like, yeah, 500K over multiple players ends up being a lot. But like, come on. Like, 500K for one player on Evans, like, come on. It doesn't matter. Stamkos and KK are not wingers. Bob, clearly not watching Carolina because KK plays left wing for them a lot. He plays majority left wing for them. Stamkos, you're clearly not watching in Tampa because a lot of nights he is playing right wing. A lot of the nights I do see Point at center and Stamkos in right wing. So clearly you're wrong in that regard. At Harris, I dropped the link in your Sim League general chat. It's like a 3-minute video. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate it, my guy. I fucked Tank. God damn it. All right, let's Canada first in the Conca. No fucking way. No way. Thank you, Jeremiah. Appreciate it, my guy. I will. Oh shit, I can't pin that. I will save that for when after the stream. You'll probably want to wait. Yeah, Jeremiah, I'm gonna wait till after I'm streaming just because I don't want the stream to mess up and I don't want it to take like 15 minutes to load. And you guys are waiting that's 15 minutes because my Wi-Fi is not good. Do you think you could trade Evans so we can keep Lecky? Dixon, no. I'd rather trade Lehkonen, honestly, because he's an RFA, so he might not even resign with the team that trades for him. But I like Lehkonen. I really like Lehkonen. He's a really good PK guy, really good 3rd, 4th line guy for us. But I think Evans is the guy you definitely want to keep instead because we just re-signed him to a 3-year deal worth 1.7 or something, like 1.6, whatever it is. I really like Evans, and I really like Lehkonen too. I do think I like Evans just a little bit more. Lehkonen is a good PK guy, but Evans, like I said, is at center. You really, really want to keep him around. Lehkonen's kind of expendable on this team. You can get that type of guy. What about Anderson, Josh Anderson? And do you regret losing KK, Jeremiah? No, I don't think I regret losing KK. He's doing good on Carolina because he's playing with decent players on that team. Meanwhile, we got a 1st and a 3rd, which we then used to flip to Arizona, who does not draft good in the 1st round or any draft. So it's probably not going to be great players that they get, unless somehow Jack Hughes ends up in Arizona. But I don't regret losing Kotkaniemi because it ends up with us getting last place, which ends up with us getting Shane Wright. and ends up with us getting a really, really good second line center in Christian Dvorak, in my opinion. Bob, clearly you've not been here the last 4 months when I've been explaining why we're last place. Well, last 2 months. One, Shea Weber in fucking retiring pretty much did not help. Oh, sorry, I didn't answer Jeremiah. Josh Anderson, really like Josh Anderson. I think he's a great power forward. He definitely has a scoring touch. He's really fast. Could maybe see us trading him at the deadline. I just feel like if he said he wants to stay in Montreal, I have a feeling we would keep him unless there's a team that's so desperate. Unless a team's like so desperate, they'll give like an offer that we cannot refuse. Not like 4 first, obviously, but like a first, a second, and a prospect, something like that. Maybe I could see as being, oh yeah, Anderson, we love you, my guy, but yeah, that's really good value, you know. But yeah, I really like Josh Anderson, Jeremiah. I really like him, and no, like I said, I don't think I regret losing Kotkaniemi because technically it could end up with us getting Shane Wright, which is the ultimate L for Carolina. But Bob, if Bergie did a good job, why are last place? One, like I said, Shea Weber retiring did not help the team at all. Like, obviously, I'm not going to say, oh, play through injury, because if he had to retire, I'm not going to blame him for that at all. Weber was our captain. He's kind of the heart and soul. 2, Pricey checking himself into rehab was great for himself, obviously, and I think he's going to be good for the team because he can recover and be a better Carey Price in regular season when he comes back. But it does not help at all, especially losing Weber and Price in the same offseason. Definitely didn't help because Price is the reason that we didn't do good. 3, COVID kind of fucked us up. Not blaming like COVID itself, but players getting COVID did not help out. Number 4, fucking injuries. A shit ton of guys were injured in the Cup Finals. Price and Weber being 2 of them. Petrie being another. I believe Toffoli was hurt from the playoffs. I think Evans, I'm pretty sure, was hurt from the playoffs as well still. So losing those guys and just many more definitely didn't help with our team. Perreault in getting fucking injured again and still being out definitely didn't help. Even if he's a depth guy, still it doesn't help out. And number 5, everyone's just having a down year. You know, everyone's just having a very down year under Dominic Ducharme, which is another reason that I think we're not doing good. Is because Dominic Ducharme is a garbage head coach, is a garbage coach. We signed Savard to replace Weber. Yeah, Bob, because Savard is a defensive defenseman who doesn't have a good shot. Sure, the shot is the opposite of Weber, but defensive defenseman is proven to Weber was at this point in his career. You know, Bob, you're clearly ignoring that we lost Price and lost Weber. You're picking the 1 or 2 points that you can actually make out. Also, Bob, I want to point out the Canadiens are number 1 in the NHL. At least last time I checked, which was I think 2 games ago. We are number 1 in the NHL for man games lost. We are number 1 in man games lost, and I believe we're also number 1 in most skaters used, and number 1, I believe, in the league in most players who have scored a goal. Which obviously technically would be a good thing in most years because, like, hey, more depth, but that shows how many players we've had to use. We are number 1 in man games. So, Bob, you clearly can't say, oh, all teams have COVID injuries because we're number 1 in man games played and man games lost. Okay, Bob, who gives a fuck if Savard is worth $1.5 million? Are you going to talk about the points that you're making, or are you just going to say random shit? And yeah, Savard's been fucking garbage. I will give you guys that. Savard has been fucking trash. But when Tampa Bay is going to pay another first round pick, probably, that's their loss. Price fucked all this shit up. No malice on him, but our big slow defense is based off goaltending. Dixon, I wouldn't say Price fucked this season up. I wouldn't say that. His health is more important, and his well-being is more important than the game of hockey. It's a fucking game. You know, sure, technically it's a business, but it's a game. It is a game. Hockey is just a game. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of life, except for players who play it professionally. You know, like that's the thing. Or players that not that just play it, but are involved in it professionally, like coaches and GMs and whatever. But for me, it's the same thing like Rask last year when he left the playoff bubble, or 2 years ago, whenever it happened. When he left the playoff bubble because his daughter was, I think, asymptomatic or had asthma or something like that, and he didn't want to risk getting COVID and risk giving his daughter COVID. It's kind of the same thing as that. I absolutely understand why Price checked himself in the rehab because he knew he was getting addicted to whatever he was on and wanted to fix that right away. You know? Exactly, Lemonhead. How is Savard worth $1.5 million and Evans is overpaid? Like, I understand Savard being worth like 1.5. I wouldn't give him above league minimum personally. But that's just me not liking French defensemen who come to Montreal after having years elsewhere. Francois Beauchemin, or not Beauchemin, Francis Bouillon. But like, fucking, what was I talking about? But Price, I don't think you can blame him for this season. You can't blame Weber. It's a culmination of Weber retiring, Price checking himself in the rehab, injuries, like I said, COVID, Ducharme existing, shit going wrong for us overall, people having down years, all of that shit, But yeah, Savard is worth more than Evans, apparently. Savard as a sixth defenseman, who should be a seventh defenseman pylon, is worth more than a third line center somehow. That is rough. All those injuries, rough for the Habs. They've looked good. Jeremiah, yeah, we've definitely looked good since hiring Kent Hughes. I don't know what it's been. If he's told Ducharme, hey, play these guys and make them look good, or if it's the team just being, hey, we have a new GM. I want to stay on this team, and they've looked good themselves. But yeah, all the injuries definitely didn't help us. But the last 6 or 7 games, I'd argue last 8 games even, aside from the 50 shots allowed, we've looked really good. Bob. You realize bridge deals are for star players, right? There's a Pecorine. Why Patrick Laine got a bridge deal. There's a reason Elias Pettersson was rumored to be getting a bridge deal. I forget if he did, but there's a reason he was rumored to get a bridge deal. You don't sign your third line center to a bridge deal. Because if you sign Evans to a 1 or 2 year deal worth, say, $900,000, with the season he's having now, he's worth that 1.6, that 1.7, whatever he's making right now. He looks worth it. So you're just going to end up paying him that or paying him more because the team would pay him that for agency, So I think Evans is not massively underpaid, but I think he's slightly underpaid. I think he makes 1.75. I could say he's worth 1.9, I think, to some teams. There is about half the league, I think, would probably pay a little bit more than the Canadiens paid for Jake Evans. Exactly, Lemonhead. Yeah, Evans is only a contract for 3 more years. Worst case scenario, at the end of the contract, we can trade him for a third. He was a 7th round pick anyways, or a 5th round pick or something. We can trade Evans to get value back for him. But yeah, Habs got a few short-handed chances, like I said, and then the Canadiens went right back to the PK. Armia's worth that contract. Bob, why are you pointing out Armia, Savard? Why don't you talk about the good contracts that fucking Bergie signed? Why don't you talk about those, my guy? Why don't you talk about those? Honestly, I don't know who is worth, Harry. Honestly, I don't know who is worse. There we go. John Merrill or David Savard? Probably David Savard, because John Merrill was only with us for 4 games. He only played 4 games. So NCAA, I'd probably say David Savard easily. But we go back to the PK. Chris Weidman gets called for roughing call, but it's called roughing. Bob, you realize that Bergie, while he's the one that makes the picks, isn't the one that does the scouting himself? You realize that, my guy? Also, Bob, I'm going to go over this one more time so your puny brain can understand this. Montreal Canadiens drafts. If I can find the Hockey DB page, and if my internet, not Montreal, draft history. Here we go. All right, I'm going to look at this. Am I still live? Yes. I'm going to close my channel desktop right now. I'm going to close this. Galley to Boston for a first and a prospect. I don't know, Dixon. Savard, NZA, at least Merrill had something which was a mullet. Exactly, Lemon. At least John Merrill had a friggin' mullet. All right, so if my Wi-Fi wants to work for me, there we go. So in the first round this year, we drafted Logan Mailloux in the 2021 draft. Keep in mind, not a very good draft. We also got Daniil Sobolov, who I think could be a decent 5th or 6th defenseman. I could see him being decent. William Trudeau, who's all right. Oliver Kaplan, I kind of like him. Riley Kidney's interesting. Joe Verbatic could be an interesting backup goalie. I see him panning out. Last year, in the first round, Caden Gooley, who's looking like he's going to be pretty damn good. Luke Tuck, who I like as a depth guy. Jan Misek, who's going to be a second-line winger. I don't know why he's listed as a centerman here. If he does, even if he does pan out to be a center, he could be pretty good. We get Sean Farrell in the 4th, not even 5th round. We get him in the 4th round. Sean Farrell, I will still argue, is a guy who's going to be an incredible NHL first liner. I will argue he's going to be an amazing first liner. Also, I want to point out Logan Mailloux in 6 games with the London Knights in the OHL has 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points in 6 games with a +6. This is after 2 years ago, by the way, having played 4 games with the London Knights and having 0 points. So, yeah. I know what Bob's going to say right now, and I'm going to reply to this right now. How come none of those guys have played NHL games yet? It's called developing. You can't say Bergie screwed up the drafts when we're developing our guys. Cole Caulfield has played 39 NHL games. And why? Because we developed him in college last year. Struble hasn't played in the NHL yet. Why? Because we're developing. Norlinder played 6 games this year. Why? To develop him. Get him a little bit of NHL experience and let him go back to Sweden or Finland. I forget where he's from. Sweden. And let him play in Modo this year so we can develop him. Fear Brother hasn't played. Rhett Pillick, who is apparently another Gallagher-type player, hasn't played yet to develop him. Raphael Harvey-Pinard, who was a 7th-round pick and already has an NHL goal. Already has an NHL goal in 3 NHL games. I think is actually going to be a really good 3rd or 4th line guy. I could see him being a good 4th line center for us. 7th-round pick. 2018, Jesperi Kotkaniemi in 3rd overall. Who, yeah, sure, not the greatest pick, but whatever. We get Christian Dvorak and potentially Shane Wright out of him. I think that's pretty good. Cam Hillis in the 3rd round. Alexander Romanov in the 2nd round. Samuel Hold in the 5th round, who I think could be decent. 2017. Caden Primo in the 7th round. I'd say what you want about Caden Primo, but the fact that he has 12 NHL games under his belt as a 7th round pick, I think is pretty good. Cale Fleury, 41 NHL games in the 3rd round. Honestly, not that bad. Josh Brook in the 2nd round. I think he's going to be good. Paling, who's looked pretty good this year in the 1st round. Mikhail Sergachev in 2016 in the 9th overall ended up getting us Jonathan Drouin. Michael Pezzetta in the 6th round. He's played 27 games this year, has 6 points. That's not bad. Jake Evans was a 7th rounder in 2014. Sven Andrighetto, which sure didn't work for the Canadiens, was a 3rd round pick. Artturi Lehkonen was a 2nd round pick in 2013. On the first draft, technically, with Mark Bergevin, was Alex Galchenyuk in the 1st round, 3rd overall. Which say what you want, Galchenyuk was a 30 goal scorer with the Canadiens. He has only 30 goal scorer only 30 goal season with the Canadiens. And Charles Hudon, who has a 5th round pick, 125 games and 41 points, really not that bad, honestly. Really, honestly, not that bad. Mayu probably would have been top 20. Yeah, Lemonhead. I'd argue that he probably could have been a top 20 pick if the incident hadn't happened. The crazy thing is the chick was overage. Exactly, Dixon. Exactly. Bergie bad contracts. Oh my God. So Price. Here's the thing, Bob. You'd be complaining about this either way. And I like that you brought this up when I addressed this last stream because you have nothing original to go back and follow on. But I'll address this real quick. Price, 1, was damned if you do, damned if you don't. He was damned if he signed Price to whatever Price wanted. He was damned if he let the fucking Vezina-winning, Hart-winning, Ted Lindsay-winning goaltender, franchise goalie of the Montreal Canadiens go to unrestricted free agency. So it was either pay him what he wants or you let him go to another team in free agency. Bergevin had his hands were literally tied. Drouin, you can't say it's bad. $5.5 million is actually fairly good for a 2nd line left winger, technically 1st line on some nights for us, who in his last, I believe, 7 games his last 4 games had 5 assists. And he's a consistently really solid goal scorer. If I look up on HockeyDB right now, Jonathan Drouin. Gallagher, Bob. Sure, you can say this Gallagher contract looks bad, but with the cap rising, it's not going to be as bad. And especially considering, here's the thing, Bob. Yeah, Jeremiah, he did win the Hart. I know for sure he won the Hart. I don't know about Ted Lindsay, but 2015, Price won, I think it was the Vezina of the Hart, and I think even the Ted Lindsay for being the best player in the NHL. For being the best player in the NHL and the best player in the league. But Gallagher, teams were willing to pay Gallagher that much in free agency. I know it doesn't necessarily justify how bad it was, but Bob, you cannot say, oh, Bergevin made these bad contracts happen, because clearly there were teams willing to make that contract with Gallagher happen if he went to free agency. Drouin, look at him, 13 goals, 33 assists, and 36 points, 46 points in 77 games, 18 goals, 35 assists, 53 points in 81 games. That's actually really good. That's in 18-19. 2 years ago, 19-20, plays 27 games, misses a lot of time due to injury, has 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Of course, infamously, had, I believe 12 points in 15 games when he first was with the team that year, gets injured, comes back, pointless in all 12 games, but plays 10 games in the playoffs, 1 goal, okay, not great, 6 assists, 7 points in 10 games in the playoffs that year. Then last year, yes, very down year, 44, but then again, is it really, considering it's Drouin? And he's always usually been about half a point per game player. 44 games, 2 goals. Yeah, sure, it's not great. 21 assists, 23 points. He's involved in goals. He's setting goals up. He is a great playmaker for the Montreal Canadiens. 23 points in 44 games. Sure, 20 PIMs, but that's usually what he hits about. Only missed 10 games because he took care of his mental health at the end of the year. Misses the playoffs. Probably would have had another near point per game playoffs performance because Drouin usually decides, you know what, hey, it's playoff time. I want to be like a first line. I want to be a franchise level player during these playoffs. Regular season, I'll cool it down, but I'm preparing myself for playoffs. Somehow always decides that. Then this year so far, he's played 32 games, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points in 32 games. Drouin on pace for about a 50-point year, roughly a 50-point year. So you can definitely argue, at least in my opinion, you can definitely argue my opinion. You can argue my opinion, but Drouin is not underpaid. He's rightfully paid, arguably underpaid given this year, in my opinion. That's at least what I think. Armia, overpaid. Yeah, sure, you can argue this year he's overpaid. But what has he done prior? No, not Armia. I want Armia. Fuck off. God damn it. No, Armia. Come on. Joel Armia. I like how we even gotten through the game. Armia is a guy who in 1819, after getting traded to the Canadiens, 13 goals, 10 assists, 23 points, 16 goals, 14 assists, 30 points. And this is, by the way, mentioning in 1920, 10 playoff games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. 2021, 41 games, only 7 goals, 14 points. Yeah, not entirely too good. But in 21 playoff games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. I believe had 2 game-winning goals as well. Played very, very well, especially in the series against the Jets. Armia is not necessarily a playoff performer, but he plays better, at least in my opinion, in the playoffs. Then this year, 32 games played, yes, only 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. It's down. But in the Canadiens this year, who isn't having a down year? Mike Hoffman. You're saying Mike Hoffman is overpaid. Mike Hoffman's getting, what is Mike Hoffman getting again? I'm going to disprove you on all of these. I'm going to disprove you. The only one I could maybe give you is, yes, I want the Mike Hoffman that played in 1990. The one I could argue on, the only one that I think I would say so far that you are correct on is Armia, but this year, which again, you really can't go based off 1 year. So Mike Hoffman, even you can't really say is overpaid because last year with St. Louis, 52 games, he had 17 goals, 19 assists, 36 points, which is definitely a down year because the year before, the 2 years with Florida, 82 games played, 36 goals, which is a career high, 34 assists for 70 points, which yes, is a career high, but he's a consistent 50-60 point guy. 1920 with Florida, Arizona, they be even more impressive. 69 nice games, 29 goals, 30 assists, 59 points. This year in Montreal, 27 games played, 7 goals, 6 assists, 13 points. He's right about on pace for that 40-45 point mark. Mike Hoffman is not overpaid. Mike Hoffman is a guy who comes in and he's paid to get you power play goals, which is what he's been helping with. There's a reason since he's been back in the lineup, we've scored power play goals in 6 of our 7 most recent games. Byron. All right, I'll give you Byron. He's yeah, sure, kind of overpaid. But considering at the time when Bergevin signed him, we didn't have much depth, and he was looking like Byron would be our good number 2 left wing or right wing option. That was a solid contract. I'm Bob. I'm not allowing you to use as from PK. It's like no, Bergevin did not sign that contract in Philadelphia. He did not accept that contract in Nashville. He simply traded for it. You cannot use a traded contract as an example of a bad contract from Bergevin. That's just dumb. Alzner, yes, was a bad contract. Paquette and Perreault are on 1-year deals. Those are not bad contracts in the slightest. Paquette and Perreault, like I said, 1-year deals. You can bury them in the minors. Perreault, who's been hurt, okay, cool. When he comes back, if he doesn't perform, send him down. If he gets claimed on waivers, so what? Same with Paquette. You're not re-signing them anyways. You're not re-signing them. They're whatever. Savard, yes, is bad. The only thing I will give you about Bergevin, the only thing I will give you a bit of credit for is that Bergevin is bad at signing defensemen. Bergevin has been great at signing forwards. Funny, Bergie bad contracts. You don't mention the good contracts he signed, such as Toffoli, such as Evans, in my opinion. You know, guys like this. Suzuki's contract is going to be massively underpaid. Only $8 million for a first-line center. Savard, again, yeah, probably, definitely overpaid. Anderson, I will argue. Anderson, sure, 50% disappears, but when he appears, he is fucking clutch. Anderson is great when he appears. So $5 million is not that overpaid, especially if Anderson appears in the playoffs like he did last year. He was great in the playoffs. Kulak makes $1.7 million as a fifth or sixth defenseman who can appear in your top four. That's underpaid. You can't say Lehkonen and Evans are slightly overpaid when Lehkonen makes $2.5 million and Evans makes $1.7. Lehkonen, I believe, was only signed to a 1-year contract. Lehkonen's a really good PK guy. And here's the thing, even based off points, just because I'm bringing up points doesn't mean that they're particularly bad players. Lehkonen's a great PK guy, and so is Evans. Evans wins you faceoffs. Evans does the intangibles that you really can't track with stats. So you can't really say, oh, Lehkonen and Evans are slightly overpaid without bringing up like some of the good contracts that Bergeron's made, you know? You might be right, probably why Montreal risked taking him. Lemonhead. Oh, yeah, Logan Mailloux, yeah. And then Jeremiah, yeah, he won both the Ted Lindsay and Hart in 2015. It was really, really interesting. Paquette's on 1 year, exactly, Pro 2. Price carries us countlessly in every playoff. He deserves a 10.5. Exactly, Carmel. You look back to 2014, there was no other goaltender that could have carried David fucking Desharnais, Olympic hockey legend, by the way, as a first-line center to the Eastern Conference Finals and would have been to the finals, potentially a cup. Show me another goalie that can do that. Show us another goalie that can almost win the Conn Smythe in this era of hockey, the last 15 years. Show me a goalie in the last 15 years that could have put up a campaign for the Conn Smythe on the losing team, aside from Carey Price, who was that damn good. Without Carey Price, we are not making the playoffs, and we are not going to the Cup Finals last year. I love Jake Allen. I really like Jake Allen. He's a great goaltender when he needs to be. But Jake Allen is not carrying us past Toronto. He's not carrying us past Winnipeg. He's not carrying us past Vegas. Price was Mr. Montreal and bring a gold ring home for us. Still is one of the top 4 goalies in the NHL. Yeah, Dixon. I mean, he's definitely a top 4 goalie in the NHL in the playoffs, at least, for sure. Jordan disappears after 30 games. Bob. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, my guy. He does not disappear after 30 games. He's very, very good. You're right about Price. I will say if he was healthy, Montreal would not have been in the Shane Wright sweepstakes. But if you get the number 1 overall, I think you should consider the American kid. Jeremiah, would you be talking about Logan Cooley? Because I'm not honestly a fan of Logan Cooley. I'm not a massive fan of Logan Cooley. The 3 guys I want Montreal to go after are Shane Wright, Matthew Savoy, and Brad Lambert. I really like those 3 guys. Those are the 3 I really like. Bob, you're saying Jeff Carter is better than Drouin. You realize Jeff Carter is a third-line center at this point in his career, and Drouin is a first-line left winger still. Jeff Carter signed a 2-year extension with Pittsburgh because he likes playing there. You can't necessarily use a 37 or 36-year-old, whatever Carter is, and compare that to a 28-year-old in Montreal who's arguably in the prime of his career. 4.25, exactly, Dixon. Yeah, Hoffman can hit about 25, 30 goals. He could hit that. If he were healthy this year, I honestly think he could hit 20, 30 goals. Next year is going to be a turnaround year for everyone in Montreal, I think. If we didn't give Anderson 7 years, he would have then only wanted 1. And after the run, yeah, he probably would have wanted 6 or 7 million, which would have been worse. Exactly, Carmel. Exactly. Anderson, after last year, would have no doubt wanted much more money if we only gave him 1 year like we wanted. And hell, we're going to win that trade with Columbus because Domi might even want out after this year, which is hilarious. Oh, Carmel, exactly. Without Price, I don't even know if we make to Game 6. I don't even know if we make it to Game 6. Oh, Bob, the hockey guy says Anderson disappears. Like, I love that hockey guy. I love the hockey guy. But that's the point where we disagree. I don't think Anderson really disappears. And I said, I think Anderson does disappear at moments, but not to the extent that you say, oh, 50% of the time he disappears. Given, how do you explain that the fact that he had a 27-goal year in Columbus? And last year, what did Josh Anderson put up last year? Josh Anderson. There you go. I almost typed in Josh Archibald for a second. What did Josh Archibald do last year? Josh Anderson, the only Josh Anderson out of 6 actually to make the NHL. Josh Anderson, just a reminder, put up 27 goals, 20 assists, 47 points, his second to last year in Columbus. The following year, 26 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Then joining Montreal after the Domi trade, 52 games, 17 goals, 7 assists, 24 points, was on pace for a near 30-goal year for a massive rebound. 22 games in the playoffs, 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points. He was getting physical a lot, though. And then this year, 31 games played, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. So yeah, sure, you can say he's disappeared. But on a roughly half a point per game pace, I don't think 5.25 is necessarily that overpaid. You know? Exactly, Jeremiah. We've already won the Domi and Anderson trade. Thank you later, buddy. Going to get some dinner. Take care. I'll try and share some cool stuff from the All-Star game with you. Hey, thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate it, my guy. I will check out that streamable thing. Try and wrap up in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Enjoy your dinner, my guy. I hope you enjoy it. And take care. Take care of yourself, Jeremiah. Thank you for coming by, my guy. It was much appreciated. Really fun talking to you again. Thank you very much. Show me a goalie that brought a gold medal home, Toronto, Mr. Canada. Dixon, yeah. Why does Gordon say changes are needed? Bob, because changes are needed. Savard needs to get out. I like Kulak, but not necessarily a consistent guy in our lineup. Savard, Sherratt, Petrie can all get fucked. Sure, Kulak, just because your team is good doesn't mean that changes don't need to be made, you know? Like, sure, if you're winning 12 of your last 12, yeah, sure, changes don't need to be made. But if you're like the Canadiens, where we're playing well, but we're still losing, then changes need to be made. That doesn't necessarily mean trading out Anderson, Toffoli, Hoffman. Funny enough, Toffoli is the underpaid guy out of those three, because I think Anderson and Hoffman are about rightfully paid. Toffoli is the underpaid guy there, and there's rumors he's on the way out. Toffoli is very good. I think he's actually been the one that's kind of disappeared between him and Anderson, because Anderson's always at least physical, even when he's not goal scoring or setting up plays. He's always at least physical and speedy. You know, Gordon, I like Gordon. I really like Gordon, and I do agree with him that changes need to be made, and he's going to be looking in the right places. He's not going to be looking at Anderson, at Hoffman, at Toffoli, at Suzuki, at Caulfield. He's not going to be looking at young guys. He's not going to be looking at these guys that are performing well for the team. He's not going to be looking at them. He's going to be looking at who's underperforming, who's overpaid, like Petrie and like Gallagher technically is right now. Again, there's teams that would have signed him to that contract in free agency. So, you know, it's kind of a moot point that, Galley or Bergevin made that happen, you know? So for me, Gordon said changes are needed, but that doesn't justify you at all. That doesn't justify you saying all these contracts are bad, you know? So if he trades Drouin and Gallagher and Hoffman and Anderson, if he trades those guys, that only backs up my point. Because if we don't have to overpay for a team to take those contracts on, if for Drouin, for example, we get a first back, if we get a first back for Hoffman, if we get a first back for Anderson or whatever, and whatever, that backs up my point that they're underpaid, that a team, or equally paid, that a team is willing to pay to grab those contracts. Anderson is less than 0.50 points per game. He has 15 points in 31 games. Oh, whoop-de-doo, he's just barely under point per game, you know? And actually, in his career, he's just about point per game, I believe. 300. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, he is under point per game. But with 8 goals, 15 points, and that physical presence that we need, someone unlike a Michael Pezzetta, where he's always consistently going and always fast, you know? Bob, when we just made the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't think you can really have the balls to say Bergie screwed it up. Because without Bergevin as our GM, we don't fucking make the Cup Finals. We don't resign Price. We don't have Nick Suzuki. We don't have Cole Caulfield. We don't have our current prospect pool, which is one of the best in the NHL. There's a reason that people consider at least a top 10 prospect pool in the NHL. Without Bergevin, you don't have that. The hockey guy hates the Habs. It's his bottom team. The only guys I've seen him praising the Habs. Well, Carmel, it used to be his least favorite team. I don't think he necessarily hates any team actually really anymore. I don't know what he thinks about most of the Canadiens, because whenever there's a Habs game night, I usually skip that review anyways, because I'm like, I watched the Habs game. I don't need to know really about that game, you know? So I don't really know what he thinks, but I don't think he really hates the Canadiens, you know? I think he just tolerates them really. Domi's having a good year. Debatable, Bob. Debatable. Petrie is a slow fuck. Yes, he is, Gabriel. Drew and Philly. Dixon, no. They're in the midst of a 12-game losing streak. They wouldn't do that. Who would you rather have, a dirty Russian Sergachev or a playmaker like Drouin? Obviously, Bob. Sergachev is not a great defenseman, in my opinion. He's incredibly dirty. He's one of the typical dirty Russian defensemen. Drouin is a good French-Canadian boy who's a good playmaker, and he's pretty goddamn good, honestly. When he how do I say this without coming off as really insensitive? Because I don't mean it in this way. If Drouin were not to have the anxiety and the sleep apnea or insomnia, I don't know why I thought it was sleep apnea, the insomnia and the anxiety, if he did not have that, or when he fixes that, because I believe those issues are fixable and helpable. Because I'm sure when he goes invisible or whatever, when he goes invisible like that, it's because the anxiety's getting to him and whatever, which I'm not going to blame on Drouin. I'm not going to be a dick and say, oh, that's all on Drouin, you know? But if Drouin didn't have that, or when he's able to help that and help himself, you get what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but you guys get what I mean, right? I'm sure you guys do. Drouin would easily be a 60, 70 point goal scorer. Not goal scorer. Jesus, I wish a 60 goal scorer. A 60, 70 point scorer. He would easily put up 50, 60 assists if it were not for what he's doing, you know? Bergie did a good job in playoff run season, but screwed it up in offseason. Bob, how did he screw it up in the offseason? He added a goal-scoring power play specialist in Mike Hoffman. Sure, he added David Savard. Sure, he added Paquette and Perreault. But their depth, he really didn't change the team all that much. Oh, he got rid of Kotkaniemi. Yeah, big whoop. He brought in a better fucking second-line center in Christian Dvorak. He brought in a much better second-line center. Because notice, KK is playing fourth line in Carolina. If he's so much better than Dvorak, how come he's playing fourth line? And how come he was scratched in the playoffs if he was so good that we didn't need him to get to the Cup Finals, you know? I've said this 1,000 times. Exactly, Gabriel. I can already agree with you right here. Bergie built that team to go far in the playoffs, which we did, exactly. We came forward. We actually came 3. We won a game in the playoffs. We came 3 wins away from the Stanley Cup. We came 3 wins away from the Stanley Cup. It's not Bergevin's fault, exactly, that half our team is injured and Price is out, and the guys that are in the lineup just aren't working. Sergachev should have had like 500 charging penalties. Exactly, Gabriel. Sergachev was the dirtiest I've ever seen him play in that Cup Finals. And sure, Bob, you can probably say, oh, well, that shows he wanted the Cup. Getting penalties, or what should have been penalties, I don't think is showing that you want the Cup. I don't think that's showing that you want the Cup. Fucking throwing Gallagher to the ice and slamming his head against the ice, I don't think it's showing that you want the Cup. It's showing that you're a typical dirty Russian defenseman. I think that's what that is. We have a decent team on paper. Yeah, we have at least decent team on paper. Amazing team with the right head coach. Ducharme is not the head coach. Like you said, Ducharme is the issue. His system is for the trash. Exactly, Carmel. The dump and chase, we'll go out, get 20 shots, allow 40, 50, and we'll do good. Hopefully, system is not one for us. I want that DF center Rangers. He don't want to play for you. Who do you mean? Drouin is better than Sergachev. You must be watching another game. No, Bob, I'm not. I'm watching Montreal and Tampa whenever, well, obviously all the time Montreal plays. Obviously all the time when Montreal plays. I watch some Tampa games. Whenever I do, I don't see anything special out of Mikhail Sergachev. I see a typical Russian defenseman who delivers okay hits and has a little bit of a offensive touch. Romanov is a better hitter in my opinion. Less dirty too. Less dirty. Romanov's not the typical dirty defenseman. Romanov's the typical Russian defenseman that he hits, but he's not the typical dirty Russian defenseman. You get what I mean? You get what I mean, guys? I think you do. You ever been hit weird YouTube sub drops? Zach, I just had that. I just got hit with that. I think 8 exactly too. We got rated from Rocha like an hour ago. Bunch of guys subbed and YouTube just took those subs off. So I don't know if they're trying to verify them, but I had that happen to me too, Zach. I had that happen to me as well. Bergie technically won Gabriel, exactly. He technically won the GM of the year because he had the most first place votes doesn't win you the GM of the year. I don't think, exactly, Gabriel. I don't think he'd have the most first place votes if he was a shit GM. Exactly. And I know Bob's going to say, oh, but he didn't win GM of the year. He had the most first place votes, though. Like, who did he get beat by? The guy had, 4 more votes than him total, I think. I sent Primo to the shitter. Oh, thank you, Dixon. Much appreciated, my guy. Thank you very much, my guy. I appreciate it. No, Heinz League's not in here. Damn. All right, so we're going to get through the rest of this. I think if Drouin was in that finals, I feel the outcome would have been different, IMO. Carmel, yeah, I think so. I think that the finals could have ended up differently. Obviously not saying, oh, if we have Drouin, we absolutely win the cup. But it could have been different. It absolutely could have ended differently. Maybe we get swept. Who knows? Maybe we get swept. Maybe we lose in 7. But we could have won if we had Jonathan Drouin in those finals. And again, I'm not blaming Drouin because he took his time off to repair himself, which is much more important than the sport of hockey. But if we had Jonathan Drouin, or we had a playmaker in general. If we had, I don't know, this is the first guy that's coming to mind, but an Adam Oates, for example, maybe we win. We did need a playmaker. We needed that pure playmaker. The reason we won game one, I wish we won game one. The reason we won game 4 in Montreal is because we had guys that were willing to sacrifice the shots to be that playmaker. That's why. I legit was fuming like you. Yeah, exactly, Zach. Like you had just passed 700. I can understand why you would be pissed about them taking away subs from you. It absolutely makes a lot of sense, my guy. Absolutely makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. All right, let's try and finish this game. We're at the 2-hour mark. Holy shit, my voice is fried already, guys. So the Canadiens again went back to the PK. Weidman gets called for roughing, but I thought it was a roughing, but they called it tripping. Ducks had pressure, but just were not able to score. Sergachev has 158 points in 323 games. Oh, well, good job, Bob. Okay, and doesn't avoid that he's been suspended how many times now? He has countless dirty hits, especially against the Montreal Canadiens. It doesn't ignore how dirty he can be. If you want to go off that, then Jonathan Drouin, if Chrome wants to work for me, which apparently it doesn't, it's going to freeze for me. So I'm sorry if I can't read your comments for a minute. Oh, and my computer as a whole is going to freeze for me, apparently. So yeah, it's just beeping. Not beeping, but it's, yeah. So I can't read your comments right now, but Josh Anderson has 350 points in 154 career games. That's what I'm going to say. All right, here we go. All right, so Josh Anderson, son of a bitch. God damn it. Okay, stay here. Why Mike Hoffman? Oh, I was looking at his cap it. Okay. But Josh Anderson, or Jonathan Drouin, who was actually the first player that we looked up here. Sergachev, Drouin, if you want to go by that, in 425 games, has 252 points. He's above point per game. Yeah, 252 and 425 is a point per game. He's above half a point per game. Point per game for him would be 250 points in 500 games. He's above point per game, or half a point per game. So technically, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, Sergachev's above half a point per game. But Drouin has more points. Drouin has more goals. Drouin is a better player, at least in my opinion. Jonathan Drouin is the better player. He's fast. He's a great player. He's only 28, or he's only fucking 26. He's not even 28 or 29. He's 26 years old. Jonathan Drouin, I think, is great. He can be even better. If you had Drouin this year with Suzuki and Caulfield, or Suzuki and Toffoli, with them clicking at the way that they all did in the regular season before playoffs, they would have been great. They would have been amazing. Sergachev would have been better in the finals than Gustafsson. Well, King Kroc, yeah, sure. But like Carmel said, and I agree with him, we needed a playmaker. We didn't need a defenseman who can hit. We already had Romanov doing that. We didn't need the typical dirty Russian player. We needed the typical French-Canadian great goal scorer, which is what Drouin is. We needed that playmaker in the playoffs, or in the finals especially. Drouin could have been that. Drouin maybe could have helped us win another game. Who is to know? Who's to say? Maybe he would have lost this game 4. Maybe we would have gotten swept. Maybe we would have won the cup. Who's to say what one player's difference could have been? Defensemen have a harder time getting points. Okay, and Bob? He's playing on fucking Tampa Bay Lightning. He's playing on the team that choked 63 wins in the regular season and had 0 wins in the playoffs. He was a part of that. He was a part of that team. He wasn't a part of the Canadiens team that had a Cinderella run all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay? So sure, defensemen have a harder time getting points, but Sergachev is on arguably the best current team in the NHL. Okay? And what I'm going to say is if you put Sergachev on the Coyotes, he's going to crumble because he does not have good players around him to support him. You put Jonathan Drouin on the Coyotes, he's going to flourish, you know? Plus it's also kind of apples to oranges. You're comparing a defenseman to a forward. You know, it's kind of tough. So Sergachev has had a 40-point season, which was his peak, ironically, in 17-18. 32 points, 34 points, 30, and 22 points. Currently on pace for about a roughly 47 or 47, 45 or so point pace because he has 22 points in 40 games, about half a point per game. Drouin doesn't play 200-foot game. So what, Bob? Like Gabriel just said, neither does Sergachev. Sergachev is not a pure defensive defenseman. He doesn't have that two-way game, okay? So you can't say, oh, Drouin doesn't play. Notice, guys, whenever I beat him on a topic, like, oh, you can't compare the two because of defenseman and forwards, he immediately switches topic to, oh, Drouin for game. Notice, as soon as I beat him, he always changes that. But sure, you can say Drouin doesn't play a 200-foot game, but neither does Sergachev. Drouin isn't meant to play defense either. Drouin is not meant to be a defenseman. He's meant to be a playmaker. That means getting offense. Adam Oates is god-awful at defense. Does that make him not one of the greatest playmakers, arguably the greatest playmaker of all time? No, of course he is. He's one of the greatest playmakers, if not the greatest playmaker of all time. Not am I saying Drouin could be up there with Adam Oates? No, obviously. He's never going to have a 100-assist season in his life. I'd love Drouin as much as I do. He's not going to have a 100-assist season unless he's playing with fucking Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, you know? But Jonathan Drouin is better than Mikhail Sergachev. There's no argument there. Sherratt, Weber, Edmondson, Petrie, Sergachev, Romanov would be interesting, though. King Croc, yeah, it would be interesting having Sergachev and Romanov together. But notice, Sherratt and Edmondson are still better than Sergachev, that they're in the lineup higher than Sergachev. Sergachev is a third pairing defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens. Notice that. Thank you, King Croc. Bob, Drouin's game is playmaking winger and nothing else. So, Bob, that's what we need. A playmaking winger. That's exactly what Drouin is. We have the ability to score. And yeah, sure, we need goal scoring for the future, but we have the goal scorers right now. Caulfield, Hoffman, Toffoli, Anderson, arguably Gallagher. They all have the ability to score. It's the playmakers we need. Caulfield, yeah, he can playmake, given his 8 assists with 1 goal on the year so far. But Drouin is that pure playmaker, okay? And even if like, oh, Drouin doesn't play 200-foot game, Suzuki almost can. Suzuki can make up for any defensive lapses that Drouin has. Dvorak can. Evans can. Clearly, we're developing our center depth to be that of the defensive two-way forwards who can put up points, but are also very defensive. It's clear that our left wings and right wings are meant to score. Our defense is meant to play defense, something Sergachev can't, and get some points. And our center is going to be for the two-way guys. And then obviously our net is going to be for good goalies like Price, Allen, and Montembeault, apparently, because Montembeault is apparently really goddamn good all of a sudden the last, 8 games he's played. All right, back to the game. I'm going to try and wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. If Bob will stop arguing and just admit defeat, because my voice is getting a little, not sore, but it's getting wound up. Ducks had pressure, but they just weren't able to score, so we were 3 for 4 in the PK tonight. Habs then had big pressure, lots of great looks. We were having a really good penalty, really good period. Speaking of penalty, Oates, 1,337 games and 1,420 points. All right. So, Bob? So? That doesn't disprove what I said about Drouin and Oates. I was comparing them in the fact that Oates did not have a 200-foot game and did not play defensively. He was a skilled playmaker. Like I said, one of the best ever, if not the best of all time. The best playmaker of all time. But that doesn't guarantee that he could play defense, just like Drouin. Obviously not one of the greatest playmakers of all time. Not one of the greatest playmakers of all time. But he's still a good player. He's still a really good first second line forward. Left winger, I should say, because he very rarely plays center and right wing anymore. But if you're comparing Oates to Drouin, then obviously Adam Oates is much better than Jonathan Drouin, obviously. Because Drouin is 7 years into his career. Oates' career is already completely done, Even then, obviously comparing Drouin to Draisaitl, Draisaitl's obviously going to win. But that's not what I'm trying to get at, is the comparison between them directly. I'm trying to compare that Adam Oates, one of the greatest playmakers of all time, was like Drouin in the sense that neither of them had that 200-foot game, and neither of them could play defense completely, Sure, Oates, I think later in his career, developed a little bit of defense, and Drouin probably will too. But right now, Drouin is like Oates was. They don't have the defense. They don't have the two-way skill. They're both the playmaking wingers to complement their goal scorers. Yeah, Carmel. Bob's apparently just a Habs fan that hates Bergevin, apparently. Carmel, I'm still lost in how Evans is overpaid, making 1.72. Me too, my guy. Monty is getting the call up. Dixon, yeah, apparently he is, man. I bet Bob cheers for Vegas and is jealous if he kicked their ass in playoffs. Gabriel, he might have been, honestly. Then you're a pretty fucking retarded Habs fan, Gabriel. Yeah, despite the strong wordage, I would have to agree with you there. I'm trying to figure out which Pepsi was the one I had tonight and which from last night. I'm going to take a risk with this one. Yo, Harry, long night tonight. Randy agreed, my guy. A very long night, unfortunately. Very, very long night. Damn. But Dauphin, Laurent Dauphin gets in on a breakaway, tripped up, and it's a penalty shot. It's awarded a penalty shot to Laurent Dauphin, and he scores a really nice 5-hole goal for Laurent Dauphin. Only his second of the season. It is 5-4 Ducks, though. 5-4 Ducks. Canadians coming back from 5-2, up for 5-4. Ayo, your mic is looking like a massive rod. Gabriel, yeah, it is. It's because I got the little pop filter. Like I don't know if you can hear, but when I use the word pop filter, it always pops like that. And then you use the word pop filter like this. I don't know if it does pop as much. If it does, then clearly the SpongeBob cover is for nothing. But thank you, Gabriel. Great goal by Dolphin. Yeah, Randy, for sure. Dolphin. Dolphin got called for the penalty shot, and at first I was like, oh God, please just be a power play. We'd have a better chance scoring on that. And then he scored, and I was like, holy shit. Holy shit, that was a really good goal. I was impressed by Dolphin. A fourth line guy coming in the lineup and looking that good on a penalty shot. I was really happy he scored. I was really impressed. Habs had more looks. They just were not able to tie the game yet. Ducks tried to come back the other way. Some good looks on Monty, but Habs had some good clears. Montembeault got called with just over 2:30 left in the game. Well, yeah, Bob, if Evans was in Tampa, he wouldn't get that. He probably wouldn't get anything because they're fucking strapped for cap. I mean, to be fair, they'd probably pay him over guys like Corey Perry, but yeah, Evans wouldn't get that because Tampa's strapped for cap, Put him on a team like Arizona, he probably makes a little bit more, Dauphin also cost Montreal the 4-minute power play by Anaheim. Did they? Randy, was that Dauphin? Was it Dauphin that took it? Oh yeah, it was Dauphin. So yeah, Dauphin, not a great night for him. I mean, he scored, but yeah, if he cost us the 4-minute power play, which he did, I put it on here, then yeah. Not good, because technically could have been tied going into overtime had Dauphin not taken the penalty. Technically could have been a 4-3 Montreal win, technically. Or technically a 5-3 Montreal win. Because they credited the second goal. They credited the third goal for Anaheim on the power play. But again, I feel like I saw 5 Canadian skins out there, but I don't know. Might have just been a weird thing out there. Brisebois is much smarter. Okay, Bob, when you're saying Patrice Brisebois is much smarter, that's when you're done. Or Julien Brisebois even. Bob, okay. Clearly, Julien Brisebois is much smarter because his team is fucking strapped for cap every year. They have to put Nikita Kucherov on the LTIR until the playoffs. Clearly, he's a much smarter GM. That Bergevin got more votes than him for GM of the year, more first place votes for him for GM of the year. Clearly, Brisebois is much smarter. Duh. Exactly, Gabriel. Steve Yzerman built fucking Tampa. Steve Yzerman built the Tampa Bay Lightning. When was Steve Yzerman Tampa Bay Lightning? Because if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if he was there, but I believe he might have even drafted Stamkos. Yzerman went to Tampa in 2011, I think. May 2010. He went there in May 2010. So he went there like right after they were fucking thingy thing. Right after Stamkos got picked. So 2010, the first draft he was there. He picked Brent Connolly 6th overall. Radko Gudas in the 3rd round, which actually was good. I'm going off guys who are in the NHL. First round picked Vladimir Nemestikov. 2nd round picked up Nikita Kucherov, which was a great pick. 7th round picks Andre Palat. 4th round picks Cedric Paquette, which as much as we hate, he's played 446 games, which is not that bad. Picks up Andre Vasilevsky too. 2013 entry draft picks up Christian Guzlevskis. I mentioned him because he played 3 games, had like a 921 save percentage, really good. And picks up Jonathan Drouin 3rd overall. Adam Ernie in the 2nd round. Picks up Braden Point in the 3rd round. And Tony DeAngelo in the 1st round. Picks up Anthony Cirelli in the 3rd round. Matthew Joseph in the 4th round. Then picks up, I believe, Brent Howden in the 1st round. Labor Hayek in the 2nd. And Ross Colton, Tyler Radish, and Boris Katsuk in the 2nd, and 4th round. Colton was the 4th round pick there. And those guys are all coming up this year. This team was built off the back of Stevie Zimmerman. Bruins signed good deals. Yes, Bob, because they have a different mindset than us. And notice how many cups they've won in the last decade. Notice how many cups they've won in the last decade off their great model of, if you want to stay here, you take a pay cut. If you want to win, you stay with the Bruins, which ironically they haven't won a cup since, over a decade ago. But if you want to get paid, you go elsewhere. Lemonhead, yeah, I'm thinking Bob is probably a Lightning fan, honestly. Bob, sure, you can compare us to other teams. Why don't you focus on the actual team at hand? Why don't you focus on the fact that our team is looking great for the future already, and these upcoming 2 or 3 drafts are only going to help us to become a cup contender within probably a decade. Gabriel, Harry, what are your thoughts on Michigan and Zegras assist goals? I loved those. Honestly, I love the Michigan goal tonight, and I love the assist goal. Do you think they're good for the game or not? I see what John Tortorella is saying, in that it's not good for the game, in that the players are going to get way too, try and do even more elaborate and fancy moves. And I definitely get what he's going for, and I agree with that to a certain extent. But at the same time, it's great for the game, because the more people see these highlight reel goals, the more regular people that aren't hockey fans, because us hockey fans are clearly really, really, really weird. Definitely are, myself included. But Zegras goals like this, and Michigan goals and Svechnikov goals and that, they're clearly going to help the game, because more people are going to see it, more people are going to watch hockey. Bob, Aho contract is good and better than Galley. Are you just going to ignore that Bergevin signed that Aho contract? Are you just going to casually ignore that Aho Bergevin offer sheeted Aho? You just caught your foot in your fucking mouth, you idiot. Aho is the one that got offer sheeted by Bergevin. So, dude, Aho contract is good and better than Galley. No shit, because Bergevin offered that contract. Bergevin offer sheeted Aho. Carolina matched, and they were pissed about it, because Aho, that was even more than they wanted to give him. But that's the thing, is Aho was still underpaid off that $5 million. That is the contract Bergevin offered. So yeah, it's good and better than Galley, because Bergevin offered that. There's no way this fucking dude's a Habs fan. There is no way he's a Habs fan. Oh my god, my guy is acting out here like a goddamn Lightning fan or a Vegas fan. Holy shit, this is funny as hell. And I guarantee Bob's gonna leave the stream now and come back next stream and be like, "Hey yo, Galley's contract, it's really bad compared to this guy that Bergevin didn't offer sheet, because he got caught in his own goddamn foot." And he got his own fucking foot caught in his mouth. And I guarantee next stream he's gonna say, "Oh, whatever contract Svechnikov gets next is gonna be better than Galley." And it's like, you can't guarantee that. Like, yeah, Svechnikov is a better player than Gallagher, but there's no guaranteeing. Svechnikov might get $12 million. Who's to say? If it's even in Carolina, because Carolina's so poor they can't barely afford to pay their fucking players unless their offer sheet, apparently. But Montembeault got pulled with just over 2.5 left in the game. Habs were dumping and chasing. He didn't offer enough for Aho. Well, Bob, here's the thing. Carolina didn't even want to give him that money. At first, that's what Aho wanted. Bergevin did that because he saw Carolina didn't want to give Aho that money. Carolina was pissed about it, but they accepted it because they knew they couldn't let Aho walk. Bergevin had the balls to offer sheet someone. I believe that was the first offer sheet in 6 years on a player since the Weber offer sheet, I believe. So clearly Bergevin had the balls to offer sheet Aho. You can't say, "Oh, didn't offer enough for Aho, stupid offer." Dude, are you even listening to yourself? He didn't offer for Aho, stupid offer. No offer sheet is necessarily a stupid offer. Unless you're obviously offering like $1 million to Aho, obviously that's going to get accepted. That's a stupid offer. But $5 million, which is the AAV, you realize if we give more, we're losing a lot of picks too. Exactly, Lemonhead. You realize that with that, I enjoy watching his content, but he's not professionally involved in hockey. There's been times where he was wrong. He thought Sami Niku wouldn't. Sami Niku cleared waivers. There's been times where the hockey guy's easily been, when he said, I believe he said William Nylander, he thought William Nylander's holdout would last after December 1st, and he got signed right at the last minute. The hockey guy is wrong a lot. Like, all of us are wrong a lot of the time. I like watching the hockey guy. I like hearing his opinions. But don't treat what the hockey guy says as pure fact. All right, my guy? And like Lemonhead said, if we give more, we're losing a lot of picks. I think with that, we were giving up, I think it was a first, second, and third, or a first and a third. And with the next offer, or something like that, we would have been giving up 2 firsts, a second, and a third. You can't believe everything hockey gets. Exactly, Lemonhead. I'm pretty sure if we gave up those picks to the Canes, then we wouldn't have our first pick this year. Yeah, Gabriel. I think that actually makes a lot of sense because I think it was what we were giving up was 2 firsts, a second, and a third. And I think the next highest was 4 firsts, a second, and a third, or 4 firsts exactly. I think something like that. But yeah, it's funny because I guarantee if we offered more, we're giving up a pick this year. Bob would just be in here saying, "Oh, how come? Why did Bergevin offer Sheet Aho? Should have given him less. Carolina probably wouldn't have matched it." I guarantee Bob is one of those guys that's saying, "Oh, now we're going to give up Shane Wright to Carolina because of Bergevin." When I still think it would have been great. Yes, Bob. Finally, you can admit Bergevin made good trades. When are you going to admit he made good signings and he drafted well? When are you going to admit that, my guy? And also, I'm going to find it funny if you start saying, oh, Bergevin should have drafted Kaprizov, because every GM passed on Kaprizov, technically at least 4 times. If every team had at least a pick, which I believe every team had at least a pick until Kaprizov. Technically, every GM passed on Kaprizov. That is something you could not... that's something you cannot say just about Bergevin, because every team you'd have to do that for. Who knows? Maybe Montreal wanted Kaprizov. Maybe they were looking at him like, hey, we can get this guy in the 6th round, you know? And maybe they're looking at it like, hey, this guy's too much of a risk if we don't know if he's going to sign, you know? You rate him a 6 out of 10. Bob, why do you rate Bergevin a 6 out of 10 instead of any higher, my guy? You give Aho more money to guys like Anderson, Toffoli, and such don't come. Exactly, Lemonhead. And even without the COVID, if COVID doesn't happen and the cap is where it is, we don't get Anderson, Toffoli. Maybe Toffoli, maybe. But if you give Aho more money, you don't get Anderson, Toffoli. And yeah, sure, it'd be nice to have Aho on the team. Aho and Suzuki would be a great center tandem, but you don't get your better two-way forward, not better, well, better for in terms of two-way game than Aho guy and Dvorak. You don't get your big, fast, physical player in Anderson who can score. You don't get your underpaid goal scorer into Foley, you know? Yeah, Lemonhead. And I'm surprised he didn't rate him Bergevin either. It seems like it's been all bad the way he's talking about Bergevin and the way he refuses to seem to acknowledge that. Well, Bergevin, yes, had a very, very rocky start in Montreal. Got so much better, like very quickly. Like that Subon Weber trade switched things just like that. And Bergevin decided, you know what? I was playing for my first couple years. I was playing around for my first couple years. Now it's serious, and just fleeced GMs and did good stuff aside from signing the defensive defenseman. Apparently, bad contracts again, Bob. I've went over that. Barely any of those bad contracts that you mentioned are actually bad. And especially because Weber you cannot include, because again, Bergevin did not sign the offer sheet. He didn't approve the offer sheet to be signed by Nashville or Philly. All he did was trade for it, and it clearly ended up for the better because Subon has been fucking trash everywhere he went, including that last year in Nashville and then in New Jersey. He's not been good. Draft picks and development, Bob. Clearly you did not hear when I mentioned earlier how we've had like 3 players in our lineup from the 7th round, and how we've had all of that shit. He signed PK. Yeah, and PK's contract was good until we had to trade it. It was still a good contract up until about 3 years ago. It was last year in Nashville, whenever that was. And sure, if we have Subon, then maybe he doesn't fall off that easily. Maybe he falls off the next year if we don't trade him for Weber. But still, Bob, he signed Subon. Subon for that $9 million was looking like he'd be worth it. Then we found out Subon was a locker room nuisance and a locker room can him for Shea Weber, who became our fucking captain. He became easily our face of the defense. Subon was a second defenseman who was lucky to have Andrei Markov as his partner for most of his time in Montreal. And exactly like Eminem had said, Bob, you gotta look back at what Bergevin came in with. He's fixed us from having pretty much no prospects. This was during an era where I believe this was after the draft, or his first draft, was when we picked Sebastian Kohlberg and we're hyping him up. Bergevin came into this team where we had pretty much no one. We were lucky that we even had Brendan Gallagher on the team. We were lucky because we were in a team where Bob Gainey almost traded for Vincent Lecavalier and almost gave up Carey Price, Max Pacioretty, PK Subban, and a first-round pick. Yes, that is legitimate. The trade technically happened, but it was with someone in the Lightning management that was not the general manager, and the GM was actually mad that that trade was done behind their back. It was submitted to the league, and it did not go through. It did not get approved. We almost didn't have Nick Suzuki. We almost didn't have Alexander Romanov. We almost didn't have Matthias Norlinder. We almost didn't have a majority of our good prospects now because of how fucking dumb Bob Gainey was. Great player. Bob Gainey, I will give that to him. He is a great, great player. But Bob Gainey, one of the worst Montreal Canadiens general managers in history, in my opinion. Easily one of the worst Montreal Canadiens GMs. I think you guys get what I mean, And Bergevin easily improved on whatever fucking Gainey left us with, was clearly just Pacioretty, Gallagher, Price, and Subban. He left the reins to him, drunk, and said, do what you want with it. I'm going home. And proceeded to do nothing in the Habs organizations for like a decade. I don't even know if he's still involved in the organization. I don't think he is. But Montebo pulled with just over 2.5 left. It's 2.5 hours into the stream. You guys want to fucking go home. You guys are probably home, but you guys want to go home. You guys want to do stuff. You guys want to talk with your friends. I got stuff to do. Not really. I just really want to get off, and not in that way. Not in that way. Get off stream and play 2K, not NBA. I'm not a sports nerd. Play WWE, NHL, do some stuff for my sibling and talk to my friends. PK's a stupid contract. How much Yossi and Makar signed for? Bob, you're casually going to mention Yossi and Makar and then just forget about the Seth Jones contract? You're casually just going to also forget that Adam Pelech or Ryan Pulock, whichever one just signed for a massive underpayment with the Islanders because they like being there? Notice, Bergevin didn't like Subban, and it's not because he's black, which I know is something you're going to start saying. Subban did not fit in the Montreal Canadiens locker room. And Lemonhead, exactly. Subban is gone now. Subban is either about to get traded, 50% retained from Jersey, or what's likely to happen is he walks in free agency. So yeah, sure, technically the trade is a dud, but the fact that the Canadiens get a captain, I think makes that trade better for the Montreal Canadiens, because Nashville just about got nothing for Subban. They got, 2 seconds that they didn't even lose using good players. They got Steven Santini for PK Subban, and he's not even that good. So, Bob, I find it funny you're going to use the 2 rare examples of defensemen actually signing for less when you're going to ignore the 8+ defensemen that just signed for massive overpaying contracts at like $9 million plus. And you know who it all starts with? Morgan Riley. Bob, yeah, Seth Jones is a stupid contract. But notice, you're going to bring up, Jose Theodore. You're probably going to bring up Jose Theodore and somehow connected to Bergevin. You bring up Yossi and Makar without bringing up Seth Jones and the Morgan Riley. All of these guys that are overpaid, more overpaid than Subban. Yeah, $9 million for a defenseman. Yeah, that's bad. But Subban looked worth it at the time. Subban looked very much worth it. Exactly. Yeah, he also fucking traded McDonough for Gomez. I forgot about that when Gainey did that. Oh, I forgot about that trade. I forgot that was Gainey, honestly. I thought that was the in-between GM, but Jesus, yeah, exactly. And yeah, Bergevin traded away our shit captain who had no emotion. Whenever we needed adversity, was like, all right, guys, we can, we can do this. We can go out there. We got 20 minutes left. We're down by 2, but hey, you know what? We can score. You know, we can do this thing. Let's go out there and do it, And traded him away for our current first-line center, Tomas Tatar, who was pretty good for us, in my opinion. And a second-round pick that became, I believe, Matthias Norlinder. Traded away the pick. Technically traded away the pick. Traded down, actually, to get Matthias Norlinder, Subban gone now. Seth Jones, a stupid contract. Hey, Kate Berry, how's it going? Thank you for coming by. Michigan by the GOAT, Big Z. Yes, sir. Darnell Nurse is awful contract. Isn't he getting paid like $8.5 million as well, Gabriel? Oh, yeah, Bob, we can agree. Bob Gainey is worse than Bergie. Absolutely, Bob Gainey is worse than Bergevin. No doubt about it. And I guarantee, I'm pretty sure you and me both can say Gainey is much worse than Bergevin, because Bergevin never absolutely bargained the future to win now. Notice this last deadline, we got Gustafsson for a 7th. Merrill for a third and a prospect that wasn't going to pan out for us. And I don't even know if he's going to be an NHL prospect. Verbeek, Pat Verbeek's son or whatever his name is. I forget. Ryan Verbeek or something like that. Notice, Bergevin's never been the guy to go full out. And notice, when he traded his first round pick this year, he made that condition. Not because I don't think he didn't trust his team to get to the playoffs, but because he's smart to have that top 10 pick security. You know, I think he's smart in that regard. And notice, again, when Bergevin trades people to buy Vanek, I think he traded, 2 seconds for that? That's pretty much the furthest he's gone to full out splurging and buying at the deadline. Nurse's 9.25. I thought his was one of the weakest. 9.25 times 7. I forgot about that. Jesus. Yeah. Bob, we can agree. Bob Holland. Just the way your name is phrased, I like that. But yeah, Ken Holland is much worse than Bergevin. I'm sure we can all agree on that for sure. Habs were trying to get some shots, but there was not many. Ducks were playing incredible. Was doing incredible. Stopping us. Habs gave away the puck way too much. Ducks almost actually got the empty net with about 20 seconds left, but they wouldn't. That was the game. Final shots were 40-24 for the Canadiens. We actually scored on a shot every 10 shots, technically. But the Ducks held on to win 5-4 in regulation. How do you rate Bergie out of 10? Please judge the whole... I guess that's supposed to be picture. All right. Judging out of the full picture of the drafts, the signings, the emotion, the draft picks, the signings, the trades, and the emotion he showed for the team and wanting to support the team, I would probably give Bergevin about an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. Maybe a 9 on a good day, but probably an 8.5. I think the amount of really great trades that Bergevin's made to help this team for the current and for the future, the amount of signings that he's made that have been really, really damn good, the amount of adversity that he's had to face, like Gabriel said, and I completely forgot, coming into the system with pretty much no prospects and leaving us with one of the best prospect systems in the entire NHL. And bringing us to the Stanley Cup Finals, something that we hadn't done since 1993, as well as bring us to the Eastern Conference Finals technically 3 times if you want to include last year, which I do because technically it is an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. We just went beyond that. No, 2 times. Or was 2015 the Eastern Conference as well? I think it was only second round. But bring us to the Eastern Conference Finals twice in his tenure. Once 2 years in when we weren't even expected to get there as a wild card fringe playoff team at that point. That shows you how good Carey Price is. 2014 and last year. I think 2015 was second round elimination, funny enough, to the Lightning as well, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was Eastern Conference Finals. I'm pretty sure it was second round, and then the Lightning beat the Flyers in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think. I forget who the Lightning beat in 2015. I keep forgetting that year for some reason. Oh, the Rangers. They beat the Rangers because the Rangers beat the Capitals, I'm pretty sure, in Game 7 that year. I'm pretty sure that was the year that Hope had the one save and couldn't dive over fast enough to get the rebound. I'm pretty sure that was the year. In overtime as well, I think. But yeah, I'd probably give Bergevin an 8.5, maybe, like I said, 9. I'm planning a video. I'm planning a video, guys. I'm going to look over Bergevin's whole tenure. I don't know how exactly I'm going to, if I'm going to do it like chronologically in the order of when a trade, a draft, a signing happened, in the order of that, or if I'm going to go maybe make it like a 3-part video, focus on trades 1, signings the other, draft picks the other, for example, signings and re-signings probably together. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I want to focus on that for the summer, is judging Marc Bergevin as the Montreal Canadiens general manager. I could probably start on it tonight, actually, because it's going to be easy. For the trades, all I have to do is just look when he was hired and then go from there, get all the trades he was hired for and whatever. The problem with Bergie is he hired many bad people around him. Yeah, sure, Bob, I'll give you that. He hired many bad people around him, but here's the thing. You don't know they're going to be bad unless you give them a chance. He didn't know Ducharme was going to be a bad head coach until he hired him. And technically, he wasn't even really a bad head coach until this season, because Ducharme was the head coach that helped us get to the Cup Finals. Yes, it was mostly on Price and whatever, but still, not technically, he was the coach that got us to the finals. You can argue how much he was actually involved in that, but he was the head coach when the Canadiens went to the finals. You can argue that I will still argue Julien was not that bad of a head coach in his second tenure. Michel Therrien was not a massive fan of, but then again, I barely knew what coaching was when Michel Therrien was the head coach, so I can't really judge Michel Therrien's tenure, and beforehand, I really can't. And here's the thing, I really wouldn't even argue that like Scott Timmins, who the fuck is Scott Timmins? Trevor Timmins and the rest of the scouting association under Bergevin, I'd still argue they weren't that bad because we did find some gems. Again, Caden Primo, Jake Evans, I think Matthias Norlander, Sean Farrell, I think is going to be incredible. Logan Mailloux, I think is going to be really good. All these guys that Bergevin drafted, I do think they are going to pan out. Now, obviously, not every single person that Bergevin drafts pans out. Look at every other team. Not every prospect that team drafts pans out. Not every GM's tenure is going to be a great one. Not every GM's tenure is going to be a bad one. Not even every GM's tenure is going to be a memorable one. Not at all. But for me, I do think Bergevin is a lot better than people will give him credit for. And I don't know if I'm going to look over hirings for like front office, like GMs or whatever. I am probably just going to focus on ice and players and whatever, and focus on that. And probably like season records and whatever, and like leading goal scorers and stuff like that. I do think I'm going to focus on that. I just need to find an angle to take it from to where I can list out the trades and whatever and stuff, and then focus on season product and whatever, and be like, all right, Pacioretty led the team this year with blank goals, and Carey Price had a blank save percentage, blah, 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 I want to find an angle to take at it aside from just listing out the information and being like, all right, Pacioretty led the team with this, blank led with this, and there was this that happened also during the season, and blank happened, so I might try and talk with Habs fans that were around in that era and really, really watching, I might try and get interviews from Habs fans. I think I'm honestly probably going to be I'm giving myself ideas for this video now. I'm giving myself big time ideas for this video as we're talking now. We're almost 3 hours in. I'm going to have to end the stream in a few minutes, guys, if you guys don't mind. I'm a Habs fan going back to Sam Pollock, who is 9 out of 10. Nobody gets 10 because nobody's perfect, Bob. Okay, different philosophies. I think there's people that are absolutely perfect, but yeah, in terms of a GM role for any team, yeah, nobody's perfect. Everyone's gonna have that at least one blender. Yeah, everyone's gonna have at least a blender in their career. Everyone will get at least one blender in their career. They will also get a blunder. I love that I'm able to do this. I love that I'm able to make fun of myself right after I make a mistake. I love that. It's always fun. By the way, guys, can we get an F in the chat, boys, for the Winnipeg Jets now on a 6-game losing streak? That is a very big non-poggers in the chat. Very non-poggers. Like anti-poggers, which is the Shrogob. I don't know what poggers backwards would sound like, but whatever, what Shrogob, whatever poggers backwards is, that's what the Jets 6-game losing streak is. Ari Yzerman, we're going with the points now. 8.7 for the Lightning. Yeah, 8.7 is pretty good. I'd maybe a 9.5, but given that he didn't win the cup with the Lightning when they did, you probably have to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, he's been pretty good, I think. All right, guys. So to end the stream after this long ass discussion with Bob, which I'm probably gonna have to retitle this to Habs lose to Ducks 5-4 / Bob discussion or something like that, because he took up a lot of the stream and I was really happy about it. I'm probably gonna get out of here in a minute. Like I said, my throat is drying up almost. But Nick Suzuki leads the team with the Montreal Canadiens, leading point scorer, technically tied for leading goal scorer. 8 goals, 16 assists for 24 points. Jonathan Drouin. How can you rate Berge over Yzerman? Bob, it's because Yzerman wasn't with the Lightning when he won the Stanley Cup with them. If your team, when the Habs win a cup with a lot of the members of this Canadiens team, I'll lower Bergevin's rating because he wasn't there when they won the cup. Or he might be. Who knows? He might be back in the organization. But as a GM, I would rate him lower if the Canadiens won the Stanley Cup in the next 5-6 years and we have a majority players and prospects that Bergevin drafted. I rate Bergevin higher than Yzerman because we got to the Cup finals just like the Lightning did under Yzerman. I feel we did better drafting long-term than the Lightning under Steve Yzerman. They had very similar tenures. I definitely do think they had very similar tenures. I think it's Bergevin's signings and trades that win him over Yzerman. Had amazing drafting. Again, Kucherov in the second round. I keep thinking he was a 4th rounder. Andre Palat, Braden Point, Andre Vasilevsky. Great picks. However, I do think Bergevin had good picks, but I do think, like I said, it's the trading because Yzerman was good at trading, but he wasn't a Bergevin level at trading, in my opinion. And I do think both teams made great signings, but I do think Habs made some better, more impact signings for that team, in my opinion. So that is how I can rate Bergevin over Yzerman, because Yzerman is a great scout, great at drafting, but Bergevin wins over with the trades pretty much. The signings are kind of I'd have to look over both teams, but yeah. Bob, that's why I just said Yzerman drafted a lot of good players. That's why I prefer Bergevin, because Yzerman had the drafting, but Bergevin wins him over on the signings and the trades, in my opinion. That's where Bergevin wins me over Yzerman, in my opinion. Drouin has 5 goals, 15 assists, 20 points. Tyler Toffoli has 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. Artturi Lehkonen, who's currently building his trade stock to get a first-round pick for Montreal, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Rem Pitlick and Josh Anderson each with 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. Rem Pitlick with 6 goals in 7 games as a Montreal Canadian. Christian Dvorak has 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. Mike Hoffman tied for the team league in goals with Anderson, Pitlick, and Suzuki with 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points. Brendan Gallagher, who's currently hurt, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Sorry, boys. Again, my throat is running a little bit dry. Chris Weidman has 2 goals, 8 assists, 10 points. Jake Evans has 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. David Savard, who has surprisingly 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points, the same as Cole Caulfield, who's currently out with COVID. Ryan Poehling has 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. Brett Kulak has 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. Ben Sherrod has 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. Michael Pizzetta has 4 goals, surprisingly 2 assists, 6 points. Laurent Dauphin has 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Jeff Petrie, very, very down year, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Sami Niku, who's currently in the AHL on waivers, currently in the AHL with 5 assists. Mathieu Perreault is currently out. Good signing, Bergevin. Did you see Hedman contract? Bob, you're comparing the best defenseman in the league in Victor Hedman to a top 5 defenseman in Subon. I know what I just said sounds messed, but keep in mind that Hedman loves Tampa. Hedman wanted to resign in Tampa for the very, very cheap deal that he took. PK did not like Montreal. His head was big. His ego was inflated. He felt like he deserved $9 million, which is why the day before his no movement clause kicks in, we trade him for Weber. The trade is not the signing is not initially bad, but if you do not trade him for your eventual captain, that signing, I don't know why I keep wanting to say the trade. Subon was a trade for $9 million. Bob, Subon at that point was a top 5 defenseman. PK Subon, if we look at what year did he sign? Was that 2015? I think it was 2015 when he signed. He might have been coming off a career year, actually. PK Subon contract, cap friendly. Thank you, my guy. And then let's look at NHL defenseman point leaders. I hope the NHL site is going to let me, not all-time point leaders. Oh, Quentin Hockey. I guess it's going to let me go back for previous times. Okay. So PK Subban signed that deal after the 14-15 season. So the 14-15 season. No, but seriously, after the 14-15 season, I'm going to see. So PK is not top 5 defenseman. All right. So what season are we looking at? We are going to look at the 13-14 season, because that is the season after Subban got traded. Okay, there we go. So 13-14 in points. If you're looking at it, Subban, am I just missing him? I might just be missing Subban. Oh, no, there he is. All right, so Erik Karlsson led the defenseman that year with 74 points. Subban was actually third with 23 goals more than Karlsson, actually. 56 points. Hedman was fifth. Played 75 games, had 13 goals, 42 assists, 55 points. PK Subban played all 82 games that year, had 10 goals, 43 assists, 53 points. You can absolutely make the argument that Shea Weber was a top 5 defenseman that year. Yeah, not better than Hedman, no. But you look at the year after, in 14-15, the year that PK Subban wins the year that Carey Price wins the Hart, Ted Lindsay, and the Vezina. You cannot pay PK based on 1 year. Good GM based on 5 years. Okay, Bob. So you're saying that the Colorado GM is not a good GM then, because he paid Makar based off 2 years. And yes, good GM based on 5 years in the future. Subban was looking like he was going to be a good player 5 years into the future. He looked like it 5 years into the contract. He was still going to be worth that, if not worth more. And yes, you cannot pay PK based on 1 year. Notice, 12-13, he was probably pretty good as well. But notice, 14-15, the year after he signs, Erik Karlsson again leads defenseman with 21 goals, 45 assists, 66 points. PK Subban is tied for second in defenseman points. Could be considered second if not for Brent Burns having more goals by 2. Subban, 15 goals, 45 assists, 60 points. Burns had 17 goals, 43 assists for 60 points. Technically, Subban was better because he also had a plus 21 and played about 2.5 minutes more per night. Also, funny enough, Dennis Weidman was 4th in defenseman goal scoring that year. Just a fun fact I thought I'd point out. So Subban was a top 3 defenseman the first year that he signed his contract, technically. A top 3 defenseman, you could argue. Weber was like 17th, I think it said. 15-16. Notice, firstly, Erik Karlsson, massively good defenseman before he fucked his ankle. 82 games, 16 goals, 66 assists, 82 points, exactly point per game as a defenseman. Amazing. Weber, 9th, 20 goals, one of only 4 defensemen to hit 20 goals that year. 20 goals, 31 assists, 51 games, 51 points, if only in 51 games, in 78 games. Subban, who had 68 games played that year, only had 6 goals, 45 assists, 51 points that year. So PK Subban was technically worse than Shea Weber. Technically, it was better because he missed 10 more games than Weber. But again, notice Weber had the 20 goals. So Subban was a top 5 defenseman, top 3 defenseman the year after he signs his contract. Takes a hit, yes, because he's hurt. But I will give you this. The next year, 16-17, never mind, I will not. Because Shea Weber, in 78 games, his first year in Montreal, has 17 goals, 25 assists, 42 points. PK Subban, in 66 games, has 10 goals, 30 assists, 40 points. 22nd best defenseman by point scoring. Also, funny enough, Kevin Shattenkirk 4th that year in defensive point scoring. And then the next year, not 16-17, we just went over that year. 17-18. I want to notice Bob has not talked since I've started on about Subban. 17-18. So this is, I believe, his second of 3 years, I think, in Nashville, I believe. 17-18. Where is Subban? 8th in defenseman. 8th in defenseman point scoring. 82 games, 16 points. 2nd in defensive goal scoring, sorted by goal. Tied for 2nd with Seth Jones, surprisingly, that year in Columbus. 43 assists, 59 points in Nashville. And then where was Weber? Well, he was being their captain. That's actually Jeff Petrie. Petrie, I believe, Weber, I believe, is not on the top 50 unless I just missed him. I'm not way too high. I'm way too into this to just stop and look. Makar's 80 to 100 defenseman, and he has upside. PK didn't make Olympics because he isn't complete package. Like Gabriel just said, Bob, he was a sub. He wins a gold medal because he was in Olympics. The reason he didn't make Olympics this year is because no NHL player made Olympics this year. You're making my brain hurt. Makar's an 80 to 100 point defenseman. You can't say that, Bob. Has he hit 80 to 100 points yet? Has he hit that yet? Because as long as he hasn't, I don't think he's a top 5 defenseman technically. I don't think you could say that. Subban in 18-19. Where the fuck was Subban or Weber? Subban. Weber, 44th best defenseman in only 58 games, 14 goals, 19 assists, 33 points. Subban in 63 games, 9 goals, 22 assists, 31 points. So Weber officially much better than PK Subban. So Bob, here's the thing. Sure, Subban didn't make Olympics because he isn't the complete package. Who gives a shit? John Carlson makes the Olympics 2 out of the 3 years. If the NHL goes to the Olympics in 2018, he makes the Olympics. He's not a complete package. He doesn't know shit about defense. You can't say, he didn't make Olympics because he's in a complete package. He didn't make Olympics. PK is overrated because he's playing in Montreal. Bob. Are you fucking dumb? Did you not hear me when I said Subban is a top 3 defenseman sorted by points? He is technically a top 3 defenseman that year. He is technically a top 3 defenseman because of where he plays that year. And I want to point out, I don't think Weber is on this year. Is he? No. Last year, 1920, Weber in 65 games, 15 goals, 21 assists, 36 points in Montreal. Shea Weber, or PK Subban, not even up there for defensemen in 1920. So here's the thing. You can say PK Subban is overrated, but here's the thing. No, he wasn't overrated until he got to Nashville. Notice as soon as he leaves Montreal, he starts falling off. Sure, you can say that's indicative of how he played in Montreal and how he played much better because he was with Markov, because he was Andre Markov. But the points technically don't lie. Third best defenseman a year. So you can say PK's not a top 5 defenseman, but clearly is. That first year showed it with Montreal. And then in last year, 2021, neither man made the top 50, actually. Neither man made the top 50, and then obviously this year, neither men have made it again. So, based on 1 year, so PK... Bob, I'm not saying Subban's Hall of Fame. Are you fucking dumb? I'm not saying PK's Hall of Fame. I'm saying, you said PK's not top 5 defenseman. I went by the points to prove you wrong, which I did. All right, Bob is clearly just wasting our time. It's 1 a.m. I've got better stuff to do, Bob. If you want to start talking again next stream, we can do that. So, yeah, we can do that again next stream if you want, because clearly you're not making sense. You clearly need to go to bed. You clearly need to rethink yourself. And yeah, Gabriel, it does seem like he does take the small bus to school. Bob clearly takes the small bus to school. I agree, Gabriel. But Bob, not based on 1 year Subban is Hall of Fame. You said PK is not a top 5 defenseman. I proved you wrong that he was a top 5 defenseman for a few couple years, actually. You could argue he was a top 5 defenseman. He just got hurt. So, Bob, admit you're wrong. Go to bed. You can cry yourself to sleep if you prefer that way. And Gabriel can call you a clown if he wants, which he does because freedom of speech. You have the right to think Bergevin was a bad GM. I have my opinion to disagree with you and to correct you if I feel the need to. Top 5 D bases on offense, but what about defense? Bob, top 5 defensemen are the offensive defensemen. The best defenseman in the league is never a defensive defenseman. You're not going to see Jacob Slavin winning the Norris Trophy Award. All right? I believe Subban, the year he was third, I believe Subban, the year he was third in defenseman scoring, I believe he was fourth in Norris voting. If award voting, here we go. Award voting. So award vote 15-16 the Norris. Okay, well that's for Hart. Oh god, please don't. Oh god damn it. Okay, Lady Bing. Oh my god, it gives you like everything. Jesus. Calder, yeah, obviously Artemi Panarin. Was this the year? No, that was not. I'm thy big dumb. I guess it was 14-15, I think. You have 759 subs. Yeah, Bob. I'm glad you can count, my guy. I have 759 subs. That's probably 750 more than you have, my guy. Yeah, 14-15. This is the year Carey Price won the Vezina. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised Ovechkin was second. All right, so again, we go down to the James Norris. Subban was actually third in Norris Trophy voting. Technically fourth if you go by who got the most first place votes. Drew Doughty actually that year would have won the Norris. Subban would actually have been fourth. Norris, Yossi, funny enough, got all of three first place votes. So that year, Subban was better than one of the best defensemen in the last decade that year. So he was a top 5 defenseman for sure. He was a top 5 defenseman before, for sure. And notice, John Carlson, one of the best current offensive defensemen, had no first place votes that year. Aaron Ekblad, no first place votes that year. Andre Markov, no first place votes that year. Nick Leddy, who was actually a pretty okay defensive defenseman, 1 second place vote and 2 fifth place votes. Anton Stroman had a second place vote. So yeah, Subban is a top 5 defenseman. So Bob, we're over 3 hours into the stream. I'm fucking tired at this point. I'm gonna get off in a minute, boyos. I think I got through the stats. Did I? No, I did not actually. Yoel Armia has 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Jesse Leon. Oh no, sorry. Romanov has 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Yoel Armia has 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Jesse Leon has 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Cedric Paquette has 2 assists. Vedamo, Harvey Pinard, and Clegg each have a goal. Brooks, who's no longer with the team, and Sheneman have an assist. Top 5D, but in Nashville, he wasn't counted on playing tough minutes. Bob, I'm pretty sure he was still playing 20 plus minutes a night in Nashville. PK Subon. I'll look this up real quick for you, my guy. I don't think HockeyDB yet. HockeyDB is just going to give me NHL.com, maybe? Reacts to racial slur. Racial slur. I want you to just love the racial slurs. Not the slurs, but the slurs. Don't you guys love the slurs? The slurs. That'd actually be a really funny TV show, The Slurs. Someone needs to make that. You don't have to pay me. You probably won't anyways. Time on ice. Here we go. No, okay, that's last fucking games. Come on. No, I don't want to see stats. I don't want to see stats. Stats are slowly loading for me. Apparently, Subon is on Raw. Here we go. All right, so it's gonna give me time on ice. Son of a bitch, it's not. Apparently Subon actually took some face-offs in Nashville. That is really funny. Yeah, apparently it's. Oh wait. Damn it. Yeah, it's not gonna give me time on ice for some reason. Not game logs. I don't want game logs. Yeah. Yossi and Ellis played against better opponents. Bob, you realize that when Yossi, Ellis, and Subon are on the same team, they're playing against the same opponents, right? You realize that line matching in the NHL really wasn't a thing until the last 3 or 4 years, which means Subon played his best seasons, 2 best seasons in Nashville, probably against the same opponents that Yossi and Ellis were facing. You realize that, right, my guy? You know? And funny thing is, you say, oh, they played against better opponents. Like, Subon wasn't just playing those same opponents the years prior in Montreal. You're trying to say that, Yossi and Ellis were used to facing better opponents. Like, Subon wasn't facing the same exact teams, the mostly same exact players in Montreal. I find that weird, my guy. I find that really weird. The only thing I wish Bergevin did the trade deadline was trade Tatar for another forward. King Croc, yeah, probably could have done better. But I mean, who's to say he didn't try and just wasn't able to? Who's to say? Yeah, guys, I believe we are just about done. Fights. Firstly, Romanov, Pezzetta, and Anderson each have 3. Weidman, Kulak, and Dauphin each have 3. Scotty Bowman put Bob Gainey against better offensive players. Bob, you realize how fucking far back you have to go to find something that you're saying, that's to find something to back you up? Oh, Scotty Bowman did this. Yeah, that's what you do. You put your defensive players against your offensive players. That's not line matching. That's just, hey, these guys are offensive. You're a defensive forward. You go out there and you stop them. That's not saying, all right, their fourth line's out there. They're good. Third line, you get out there. That's not like saying, all right, their first line's out there. Third line, you go out there and you do great. Line matching didn't become a major thing in hockey until the last couple years. It was a thing. I will admit that. It was a thing. But only the best head coaches did it. Scotty Bowman was someone that did that kind of often. But with Bob Gainey, it definitely was more of a, hey, defenseman. Carbonneau, that's another example. Carbonneau is a great defensive forward who could put up points. Gainey as well, I believe. Both of them great, amazing defensive forwards who were put out there to stop the offense. They weren't out there to stop specific players. But when you're putting a line of Yager and Lemieux out there, you're putting Gainey and Carbonneau or whoever out there to stop those guys, to stop the Pittsburgh offense, not just stop one or two guys, to stop the entire offense. Like I don't know, Kevin Adams and Ron Francis, for example, when they were there. We can thank Gainey for McDonough being in Tampa. Yes, we can, King Croc. Yes, we can. Whew. Yeah. There's no. Okay, I was about to say there's no way. Is this like year by year? Year by year. We can go year by year technically. This is going to be a little bit. But 13-14, just skimming through real quick. Subon, is this not... Okay, Subon was roughly playing, just looking here real quick, roughly about 23 minutes a night in 13-14 in Montreal. 14-15, he was playing... Come on. There we go. he was playing roughly 25, 26 minutes a minute. He was playing nights a minute. 15-16, the last year for PK Subban in Montreal. Yeah, 3 hour stream. Well, yeah, Bob. Yeah, Gainey traded him to the Rangers, which allowed him to be traded to the Lightning. Gainey is responsible for the first McDonough trade. Gainey is the reason we faced McDonough in the finals instead of having him for the finals, you know? In 15-16, Subban playing roughly 26 minutes a night, roughly. Then goes to Nashville. Come on. And, oh, what's this? Playing roughly 24 minutes a night. So, yeah, his time on ice goes down, but only by about a minute and a half. He's still playing a good amount of minutes. PK Subban. 17-18. Is this up yet? No, come on. This is what you gotta love about being patient. Subban still playing roughly 23, 24 minutes a night, roughly, with some odd nights of, him playing 21 minutes, 20 minutes, 28 minutes, 29 minutes. There's some odd minutes in there. So funny. Imagine that Subban, Pacioretty. Oh, God. King Croc, honestly. Christ, imagine that deal indeed. Who would our goalie have been? Like, it probably would have been Halak, but, still, who would our backup have been that year? 18-19, finally takes a hit, playing about 20 minutes a night, roughly 20 minutes. Some nights playing 7. Well, this night he plays 7, but it's because he got injured during that game. But yeah, playing roughly 20, 21 minutes a night. Still in I believe that's in, I want to say that's Nashville, and then gets traded to Jersey. So, Bob, notice, you don't do your research clearly because, Yossi and Els played against bigger opponents, when clearly Subban was just playing against those same guys. He was getting the same amount of ice time, probably just a minute or two less than them. And then 19-20, his ice time finally gets reduced. He's playing roughly 19 minutes a night. I'm seeing a lot of ones here. So yeah, roughly about 19, 20 minutes a night in Jersey, the first year in Jersey at least. So I just find it really, really weird and really funny that you're trying to say, Subban made a much better game in Montreal because he was playing against lesser opponents, which, if anything, do you say PK is better than Yossi for a 7-year period? Bob, no shit. I don't. Yossi is much better than Subban, especially in the last 5 or 6 years when he's really turned into a candidate, a really big Norris Trophy winner. So yeah, Subban's not better than Yossi, but here's the thing. They were facing the same opponents. Rather it's Subban's first year in Montreal, or his last year in Montreal, or his first year in Nashville. You can't say, he wasn't counted on playing tough minutes. 24 minutes a night is still pretty damn tough for a second pairing defenseman. Yeah, who's getting power play time, yes. But still, 24 minutes a night is rough on you. Yossi, was probably playing 26, 27, but it's still tough minutes. So, Bob, you're trying to catch me in some type of trap, but it's clearly not working because I'm not falling into any of them. Do you say PK is better than Yossi for a 7-year period again? No, I don't. But PK, you're trying to tell me, you're trying to say, he wasn't counted on playing tough minutes. I prove you're wrong. So you try to say Subban, you try to tell me that I say PK is better than Yossi when clearly he's not. Yeah, Gabriel, I'm going to get some rest now. If Bob wants to continue arguing with me, he can do it on the next stream, I guess. Or, I don't know. Bob, if you want to come on the stream sometime, I'd love to have you on, I guess. It'd be nice to have a fun little debate with you. You can gather some quote-unquote fact. We can talk on here. If you want to just do on a Discord call, join the Discord, links in the description. But that is going to do it for today's stream, guys. Again, holy shit, that was a long-ass stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, everything exclusive, but not limited to. PK during a 7-year period isn't even top 15 based on a complete package. Bob, just a reminder, the Norris isn't decided on a complete package. It is based on a offensive defenseman. So PK during a 7-year period isn't even top 15. You can say that, Bob, but the points say otherwise. At least that year he was a top 3 defenseman. They say otherwise. Funny that you can say, funny that you're not saying, Erik Karlsson, he had those point per game seasons where he was really good offensively, but what about the defense? Because it's clear Karlsson did not play defense. He's the definition. Him, Karlsson, and Brian Leetch, the Leetch did play a lot of defense fairly enough, but for the most part, those guys are the definition of an offensive defenseman. you know? So I find it weird you're saying, oh, Subon during a 7-year period isn't even top 15 when you're not saying the same about Karlsson because he's not a complete package. I find that weird. I'd love to just watch a stream just completely on debate Bob versus Harry. Well, King, who knows? Maybe, I don't know if Bob wants to like reveal his voice or whatever. Yeah, Bob, Leach is a Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Leach is a pure offensive. Oh, wait, but Bob, how can you say, yeah, Leach is a Hall of Fame defenseman when he played a lot of offense, when a majority of his game came from getting offense? I thought offensive players weren't the complete package, so weren't Hall of Fame worthy, given you think Subban isn't. I don't think he is either, but going off your logic, my guy, if you wanna reveal your voice or whatever, and you want to get on stream, I can try and work this out. I can try and get like a StreamYard or something, or go to like a friend's house or something if I'm able to. Um, if I'm able to, that I can get that I can get really good Wi-Fi and be able to stream. I'd love to do that because then I'd love to use like OBS to set it up. Harry, is there any way sometime I can just go on the stream? Gabriel, yeah, sure. If you contact me on like Discord, eventually, if ever we get good Wi-Fi or we move to a place that has good Wi-Fi, and I'm able to use OBS or use something where I can get different audio sources, absolutely, Gabriel, there's a way you can join. Yeah, Bob, Leach has more points, obviously. But still, the fact that you're trying to say, oh, Brian Leach is Hall of Fame, but Subban isn't, like again, I don't think he is Hall of Fame worthy either. But just I find it weird that you think an offensive player who had obviously a lot of point per game seasons in his career, I find it weird that you'd think Subban isn't a top 5 defenseman, at least the year that he was a top 5 defenseman based off points. But you think Leach is really damn good, even though he was. But I just find it weird, again, that you're saying this about Subban, but you're not saying about Karlsson. I just wanted to point that out. Because, yes, Brian Leach definitely fell off near the end. Jesus, 15 points. I mean, point per game actually with the Leafs is actually fucking great. But fell off in his last year, I'll say. Fell off in his last year. And actually, 99-2000 was not a good year for him. But aside from that, 1,200 plus games, 1,000 points as a defenseman is incredibly impressive. One, 2, 3. I'm trying to count. Technically 4. 5. 5. 5 point per game season as a defenseman is incredible. Leach is better defense. Leach has longer, better years. Well, Leach. Bob, what do you say about Karlsson then? Oh, Leach had longer, better years. What do you say about Karlsson then? Erik Karlsson. Technically, he's been really good. He's had a point per game season. He's been one of the best offensive defensemen. What do you say about John Karlsson? How can you think Cale Makar is an 100 point scorer and potentially Hall of Fame worthy? Because it seems most defensemen who get 80 to 100 points are legitimately Hall of Famers. How do you think Cale Makar is going to be a Hall of Famer if he doesn't have defense? Bob, exactly. Yeah, Bob, do you think Seth Jones is good? Just a genuine question. Do you think he's a good defenseman? All right, boys, I'm just messaging my friend while I wait. No, that is Gmail. I do not need my Gmail. Karlsson is better than PK. There you go, Bob. But how? Because Karlsson has worse defense than Subban. Like here's the thing. Karlsson has fallen off drastically since the 16-17 run. He had 62 points, yes, but notice his goal scoring fell off. 13 goals in his 5 goals in his rookie year, 13, 19, 6, but that's a lockout shortened season and he got hurt during it, I believe, the 17 games. Then 20, 21, 16, 17, then 17, 18, 9 goals. 18, 19, 3. 19, 20, 6. 8. And this year, 8 goals. He's looked better in San Jose this year, but because he's actually been able to fucking rehab his silly string ankle, Jones is better than Bob. Jones is the definition of your average pure offense defenseman. He does not get off. He does not get defense. He does not play defense. He's a bona fide forward. He is the new, not Paul Coffey. Actually, it might be Paul Coffey. The guy in Edmonton, the defenseman in Edmonton, Kevin Lowe. I think it was Kevin Lowe. No, never mind. It was Paul Coffey. I think Kevin Lowe was the defenseman next to him. Paul Coffey was a bona fide. Kevin Lowe was Paul Coffey was a bona fide. Fucking, oh god, how do I say this? He was a bona fide forward. He did not play at all any defense with those 80s Oilers. Well, you're saying Jones is good, pretty much Jones's average. That's saying he's at least better than bad, which is what he is. He is a very bad defenseman. Paul Coffey, 89 point, 96, 126, 121, 138, 67, surprisingly, 113, 103, 93, 64, 5, but because he got traded to LA and I believe he was hurt, 57, 30, 77, 58, 74, 8, 26, 29, 4, 10, 40, and 4. That is Paul Coffey's career stats. Finishes above point per game as a defenseman, but because he played very, very little defense, he was very much up in the rush, and he was very, very playing with forwards. So, Bob, do you think Coffey was one of the best defensemen of his generation? Do you think Paul Coffey was one of the best defensemen of his generation? Because if so, you can argue best offensive defenseman of his generation by your definition. Can you argue him a great defenseman by your definition? Because I would argue Paul Coffey is the best defenseman of his generation going off points. Again, the fact that he's above point per game as a defenseman proves he's amazing. But off your logic that 2A defensemen are the best defensemen, is he one of the best defensemen? Because as far as I know, he's the closest a defenseman has ever gotten to a 50-goal season, as far as I know. Unless like Bobby Orr did it one year, which I don't know. He actually probably might have. Let me look up Bobby Orr's stats real quick. Yeah, no, I want Robert Orr. No, fucking give me Bobby Orr, obviously. Yeah, no. Holy shit, Bobby Orr played like just over a decade. Wow, that's actually really surprising. But yeah, the Bobby Orr never did. Bob, what makes you think Bobby Orr is the best defenseman? He didn't even play. He played just barely over a decade. I thought to you, longer, better years is what makes you a better defenseman. Jones is better than average if you don't look at his contract. Bob, I mean, no, that's just no. He's below average at best. He is not a good defenseman. He's terrible defensively. He only gets his offense pretty much based off of secondary assists most nights, at least from what I've been able to tell watching Columbus and Chicago, which, to be fair, who watches Columbus? So yeah, for me, I don't know where your logic stands, Bob. If ever Orr never played with Gretzky, there we go. But Bob, notice with Paul Coffey, when does the what the fuck? Oh, Bobby Orr, because I looked him up from Paul Coffey. When did the Gretzky trade happen? Because I'm pretty sure Coffey had without Wayne Gretzky. Because Gretzky was traded. When was Gretzky traded? 1988. Gretzky, notice. Coffey was actually traded before Gretzky. Notice he had a 113-point season and a 103-point season in Pittsburgh, a 93-point season in Pittsburgh, a 77-point season in Detroit, 58-point season in Detroit while only playing 45 games, a 40-point season at 39 years old, I believe, 39 years old in Carolina in 2000. Sure, he never, or never played with Gretzky. So Niku is better than Jones. Niku is bad D. Bob, I'm not saying Niku is better than Jones. Niku has better defense than Jones, no doubt about it, in my opinion. Niku is definitely better than Jones defensively. Offensively, yeah, Jones is better. But is it really much better when you're primarily getting secondary assists all the time? Exactly, whoever doesn't play with Gretzky is good. So Lemieux is better than Gretzky, which is what I personally do think. But you're agreeing with me that Lemieux is better than Gretzky. Yager is better than Gretzky. So you're basically saying that Who is a defenseman? I'm trying to think. You're basically saying Kevin Lowe is better than Gretzky when he didn't play with Gretzky. I just find it weird. So you're saying Ron Francis is better than Wayne Gretzky. I find all this weird. But again, Bob, I'm going to stop here because, again, I've been going for almost 3.5 hours now. We've been having a lot of fun on the stream. You guys have enjoyed your laughs. You guys have enjoyed laughing at Bob. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed your time here. Bob, again, if you ever want to get on stream, join Discord or message me on Twitter at Harry Rice Hockey. I'll probably get back to you in like a year because I don't use Twitter that often. I use Discord every day. Discord is free to sign up with. You can use the same email you used to create your YouTube because no doubt you have an email because you create a YouTube. You have a YouTube account. You probably have an email. You can contact me on Discord if you want to arrange something. I can either record it or we can record it, or I can try and again do it on stream, which I don't know if I can. Did you see Niku covering Marchand? Oh my God! One example of Niku losing coverage. Oh my God! What about the 18,000 times that Jones just doesn't play defense? It's the reason they went out and got his brother Caleb, because he can actually play defense and recover for him. You know? I just find it weird. So are you saying Logan Stanley is better than Sami Niku because Logan Stanley has size, pretty much? Is that what you're trying to say, my guy? Because I don't think so. But Bob, again, if you ever want to get on stream, my guy, contact me on Discord or Twitter at Harry's Hockey. The Discord is in the description. You can join the server. You know the channel, obviously. Discord is in the description already. Contact me on there. We can set something up, I'm sure of it, my guy. Yeah, literally on NHL 22 trailer, there's like 10,000 clips of Jones getting scored. I'm pretty much Gabriel. Pretty much. And get some rest, Harry's an awesome stream. Thank you, Gabriel. My voice is definitely going out. It wouldn't surprise me if I woke up tomorrow and my voice was, it was kind of shot a little bit and it sounded a little bit like this. It would not honestly surprise me. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it again. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite channel, which includes, but not limited to, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything else. My name is Harry. Subscribe to the Puff Club. Subscribe to the HC Club. Subscribe to the Hub. Subscribe to the Don't subscribe to the Mod Squad because you won't. Subscribe to the D Nation. If you're a member of the Mod Squad, thank you for moderating comments on any streams and or if you remember the Mod Squad, thank you for moderating comments on streams and or any videos that I post. There we go. Niku is good. Yeah, Triple Heart Squad, guys. If you guys get the Triple Heart Squad in the chat, that'd be much greatly appreciated. My big fat boyos. Unless you don't want to be a big fat boyo, which in that case you can be a small fat boyo, I guess, or something along those lines. Niku is good. Why was he left on waiver wire, Bob? Because we had too many defensemen. I'd assume Edmondson is coming back soon. And sure, Niku, we can argue, is better than Savard and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But Savard does have the experience, so that's probably why he was left on the team. We have enough defensemen, and again, Edmondson's probably coming back soon, so Niku was the odd man out. Weidman's getting the points right now. Romanov's bringing the physicality on that bottom pairing, so Niku's the odd man out. Putting him in the minors is probably the best idea, because he's only like 24. He has years to develop. He can still turn into a decent bottom pair defenseman, which... Sure, when our prospects are developed, he probably won't even be able to make the team because that's how good we will be. But we'll find out. Time will only tell. Who knows? Savard is better than Niku. Bob, that's where we're going to end tonight with one of the coldest of takes. How does that work, by the way, guys? Hot take means... Cold take is when it's a joke, clearly, and hot take is when it's like... No, cold take is when they have to be joking, right? Because Bob coming in with one of the coldest takes I've seen in a while, and... Yeah. Again, Bob, contact me on Discord, Twitter if you want to talk and whatever. We can do some stuff in the future. We'll have to schedule it, maybe. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it again for this stream, guys. My name is Herace. Links in the description are the Amazon, which is the PO box and the PayPal. Big ass not dono board of non-donations 2.0 will be going up in the future whenever I can figure this shit out. I want to keep this here. I want to keep all this set up because I like the Lafreniere, the Austin, and the Connor. I like the cards there. I just want to get rid of the CDs. The CDs look kind of weird. I got to keep burning them. But yeah, we live in Canada, so free speech. Yeah, Bob. Yeah. Like, I'm going to say it's a cold take. You have the ability to say Savard is better than Niku if you want. But I have the ability to say, I think you're wrong, and I think you're stupid for it. I have the right to say that if I wanted. I just think you're wrong. You can think that if you want. I don't think you're stupid for it. You can think that if you want. I can say Niku's better. We can agree to disagree, my guy. Thank you. But yeah, big ass non-donor board for not donations 2.0 will be up eventually. I do have some donations to put on it, so I'll have to get to that eventually. We also have the Discord, the Twitch, exactly, Gabriel. Yes, everyone has their own opinions. Some things aren't debatable. Like, I'm not going to be able to convince him that Niku is better than Savard. because I don't use advanced stats. I use the eye test, which is always better than advanced stats, at least in my opinion. But we have the Discord, the Twitch, the Letterboxd, and the speedrunning account all in the description. Check those out if you guys would like to. Much greatly appreciated. That is going to do it for the stream, guys. Over almost fucking 3.5 hours. I hope you guys enjoy this. I probably will honestly retitle this stream Habs lose to the Anaheim Ducks / Bob debate. I will probably retitle it that, honestly. Habs are good in 32nd position. Bob, I'm not saying Habs are good in 30. Actually, I'm going to do that right now, real quick before the stream ends. I'm not saying the Habs are good in 32nd position. I'm just saying we're covered for the future. We're going to be a good team again. In regulation, I'll do / Bob debate. All right, there we go. Even though it's not really going to get me any views because nobody knows who Bob is. It took up a good portion of the stream, so I figured, hey, why not? Why not? Bob debate. There we go. So thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate it, my guy. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys. Whether you agree with me all the time, you disagree with me all the time, you're in between, you're out between. I don't know. Bob do a voice debate. Yeah, Lemonhead, not next stream. It wouldn't be next stream. The only way it would be next stream is if it's just a video and we premiere it on the channel, which would be really, really interesting to do. Good thing there isn't more teams. I mean, Bob, I gotta agree with you there. Good thing there isn't like 35, 40 teams in the NHL, because we'd probably still be last place. But yeah, who knows? I mean, and even then, in the draft, we'd probably be able to find some gems over some other teams. Who knows? But yeah, guys, that is gonna do it again. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Harris, and I am out. Love you guys. Stay classy, boys. Out of Montreal. And always remember, no matter how bad we are like last year, like this year, or how good we are like last year, or how good we're doing in NHL 14 be a pro so far, or be a GM. Go Habs, go, baby. Love you guys so much. Again, Ale Montreal. Enjoy the links in the description, guys. There might be a surprise or two. I actually forget how many links there are in the description. Good night, Bob. Thank you very much, my guy. Love you guys so much. Holy shit, that was a crazy stream. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Harris, and I'm out. Rest you guys. Stay classy, boys. If you guys missed the stream, I feel bad for you, kind of. Jesus. Thank you guys so much for watching again. My name is Harris. Triple Heart Squad, boys, and I'm out. Love you guys. Stay classy, boys. Bye, boys. Peace. Love you guys. Whew, let's go, boys. Fuck yeah, we finally did it, guys. Let's go. Big fucking thumbs up.